very good morning to STV. I'm Hayley Green.
I'm Sean Crawley.
Together we're Shailey, and together we've got one of our favourite products. This is a DIY sensation. This is actually going to allow you to fix any leaks around your house. And we haven't had it on air since September, and it's just the right time because the weather's been so bad.
Extreme weather we've been
I bet you've got that leak. Is it in the shed? Is it in the roof in the house? Is it in the bay window? We've got the solution.
This solves the problem in an instant on your roofs, on gutters. It's as simple as this. You just slap it on. It's not a bitumen paint. This is ROOFIX M.
You can't buy this in a DIY store. This is a TV exclusive to us. It's a trade paint, and we'll tell you about Flag Paints that designed it, but it's been designed to make it so easy to apply, and it will go onto any building material, so any leak around your home.
It's an instant fix, as you can see here. You don't have to wait. Once you've applied it, it's going to stop those leaks. Now, we've got lots of different configurations, but each litre will give you 1 square metre of coverage. Remember, it's not just for roofs. You can use it on your gutters as well, and all different types of guttering. In fact, it's this simple once again. Get rid of any debris and slap on the ROOFIX.
So if you're looking at that guttering and you heard it gushing down the house when it rained the other night, you can solve that problem without getting the builders out, without costing it you an absolute fortune. And honestly, this has saved so many people so much money. Whether you're using it on wood or metal or galvanised metal or fiberglass or plastic or acrylic or PVC or tiles and whatever guttering, honestly, this is your solution. And you don't even have to be a DIYer. I've used this. You can virtually just slap it on, and that is the job done for 10 years or more. Now, you can buy it, like Sean said, in different varieties or variations. The more you get, the better the deal.
The better the value. Now, on the screen at the moment, you've got your 1 litre tin. That's going to give you 1 square metre of coverage. So if you know exactly where your leak is, go for the 1 litre tin. 562973. It comes in 3 different colours.
Which is great. So if it's a conservatory that's leaking, you've got a white conservatory or white bay window. I know lots of the new properties now have got the grey sort of windows. Yeah, that's right. And that'd be great as on the roof, perhaps of your shed and things like that. But you have got the black option as well. The black is always the favourite, but actually we haven't got as much stock as we would like, and we've got the least stock of the black. So please do, if you want that, check your baskets out. But do remember that the bigger the deal, the better the deal.
The value.
So we're going from 1 litre to 5 litres. Now, 5 litres, it works out at £11.99 a square metre. That 5 litres are going to cover 5 square metres.
So it could be something like a shed roof with a 5 square metre of coverage. The entire roof you'll cover with that. Again, it's in black, it's in white, it's in grey. It's £59.99, 811037. It's a reduced price, and you've also got PayPal available there. Just £21.65 on your first of 3 interest-free payments if you pay online. Shop on tv.co.uk. But if you want the best value of all...
Well, if it is your garage roof that's leaking, or perhaps you want to have some spare because you don't know when that leak's going to happen next time. And we haven't had, of course, Martin and Flag Paints with us since September, so order it whilst we do have the stock in. We can only get the stock when Martin's actually... they've got time to produce for us because it's a trade paint. So this deal, well, it actually gives you a free tin because it works out, it tallies up to virtually £240 worth of product, but you are only spending £179.99. So you're saving like £70, which is fantastic.
It's getting it in free, isn't it? 360407. It works out at £9 a square metre. You've got all 3 colours available. Again, you've got black, you've got your grey, and you've got your white option. If you want to use PayPal Pay in 3, £62.31 on your first of 3 interest-free payments, and it includes your postage. When we talk about befores and afters and the difference it can make, take a little look at some of those pictures to show you what a difference, and that instant fix, remember.
And it actually looks really good as well. You know, it's solving a major problem. And even if you're going up to a building that's, you know, and it's a different material, it will waterproof all building materials. We're going to even show you how it waterproofs cardboard, which is absolutely crazy. But the finish is amazing. It's got self-levelling properties, but it's actually got very clever fibres. And these fibres actually weave together. And these Draylon fibres actually then seal the leak instantly. Even if it rains straight away, that leak it's gone. And not gone just temporary and then you get the builders out. It can last 10 years or more. So this is a problem solved. And those 5-star reviews, so many of them, and so many people solved or saved so much money by solving that problem.
And we'll share some of those reviews for you as we go through the show. Shop ahead on the website, take a look at everything, and we'll be right back with more in just a couple of moments.
Well, hello to ITV, STV already with us. ITV1, it's great to have your company. I'm Hayley Green.
I'm Sean Crawley.
Together with Shaylee, and together we have got our #1 DIY product. This is a product that is so easy to use, but actually solves a major problem. If you've got leaks after the terrible weather that we've had, because our buildings, they contract and expand with the hot and the cold, and it's been extreme, hasn't it? And then we've had torrential rains. Any leaks, any building material, this product, ROOFIX, will do exactly what it says on the tin.
That's exactly it, yeah. If you've got leaks in roofing materials, in gutters, it could be porches, it could be flashing or
bay
windows.
Felt,
this is going to fix it.
Conservatory.
Let's show you how simple it is to use. You just slap it onto the surface and it'll stop that leak in an instant, but it's not a temporary fix. This is going to last 10 years and sometimes beyond. You can see it's a very different material, quite viscose. It's got Draylon fibres that knit together. It's not a bitumen paint. If you've seen those black paints, this is very, very different.
So you can't get this in the DIY stores. If you've bought something in the past and it hasn't worked for you, this is a TV exclusive. This is only with us here at Shop on TV. It's actually a trade paint, and that's the only other way to buy it, and it's allowing you, but the actual ROOFIX M has been designed so it's so simple. You do, like Sean said, you slap it on, the job is done, whatever material, and it doesn't have to be the roof, it can be your guttering, it can be, whatever guttering you've got, whether it's copper or concrete or felt, is it a cast iron, it makes no odds. It could be a felt roof, it makes no odds what the material is. We'll even show you how it waterproofs cardboard during the show, and cardboard is never waterproof, but it is with ROOFIX. And that could be gushing down your house. If your gutterings have got a leak, it can be awful on the bricks.
And it can be the finest of leaks, like you can see there, or it can be a big gap as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll show you as we go through the show lots of demonstrations with Martin, the founder, when it comes to flag paints. But if you want to get hold of this, be quick. Now, there's different configurations available. You've got the 1 litre tin on your screen at the moment. If you've not shopped with us before, easiest way to shop is the website, shopontv.co.uk, and you need the item number at the top of the screen. So for the 1 litre tin, 562973 is the item number. It'll give you 1 square metre of coverage, and you've got it in black, in grey or in white.
Now, we haven't had flag paints with us and we haven't had ROOFIX with us since September, and that's why we're so busy. 10% of that stock already sold out and gone. The black, I do think, will sell out very quickly in that size option. But remember, you do need to know exactly where that leak is, and the larger the bundle you go for, the better the deal you get. So that is, you can see a 1 litre tin for £22.99. We've got a 5 litre tin. So times that by 5, and that is well over £100.
Yeah.
You've actually got this. £59.99 for your 5 litres. Now, that would be ideal if it's that shed that's leaking and it's leaking all over the kids' bikes and your brand new
maybe you don't know exactly where the leak is. You can cover the entire
Sometimes
shed
you
roof.
think you know, but it could actually be running from the side. So it's better to do the whole area. 10% of the black in this option has already sold out and gone. When we do have ROOFIX, we do get sellouts very, very quickly. So please check your baskets through. And if you think we haven't had it since September, October, November, December, it's sort of 3-4 months since we've had it, and grab it now, and you have some spare. Order the big bundle because that's your best option, and you can have some spares as and when that leak happens again.
I think it's a real DIY staple for you to have in the shed or in the garage, just in case. But if you've got a leak right now and you know where that leak is, take a look at this, because this is like you get a tin absolutely free of charge. This is 4 5 litre tins, should be almost £240. It's £179.99. Now, your item number here is 360407. If you want to pay the full price, you're more than welcome to, but you've got the option to split the cost with PayPal Pay in 3 if you're paying online, £62.31 on your first of 3 payments.
And you actually save £59.97 with that, so you've got a tin completely free.
Yeah.
of charge, which is amazing. Or I think it works out about £45 a tin rather than it being £60 a tin. Honestly, incredible value for money. And that is your garage sorted with some left over for the emergency. Because we are having extreme weather and that creates those cracks and those leaks. You see them in the house, don't you, down the side of the house. In the kitchen, you've got a crack going down the wall. But in the roof, it's an absolute nightmare. But remember, all materials, and remember, it gives a great finish, but it gives you an instant result that lasts for 10 years or more.
It's all about the surfaces, all those different surfaces that you can use it on. We'll just show you some of the befores and afters here straight away. So whether you're thinking of wood, OSB, galvanised steel, fiberglass, composite plastics, metals, acrylics and PVCs, gutters, you can use it, remember, on all your gutters as well, and all the different types of guttering, not just plastic and PVC, cast iron, metal, copper, concrete, going crazy on the big configuration
people a fortune, doesn't it? And we've got a 5-star review here. Said this product saved me £1,880 on a new roof. My extension was found to be leaking very badly. I called the roofer out to tell me how much it would cost to put it right. When he told me, I could have fainted. He said the whole roof had had its time. I saw the offer on TV, ordered some, and it was easy to administer. Hey presto. And then another one said I saved £3,500 on my roof repair because I saw this. My wife was watching the TV. I said, what is this? Tried it and couldn't believe how easy it was to use. And again, such great results. That's what it's all about. Instant, even it rains straight away, that leak has gone. It's a privilege to sell a product like this. And it's actually a trade product. We don't have it every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year. We actually haven't had a show since September. So please grab the stock. We're so busy. But another product Flag Paints have bought out and you love is Black Magic.
Yeah, this is a fantastic paint.
Good.
This is a rust converter, and once again, you can use it on lots of different surfaces. I used it on the cast iron balustrade outside our front door, and it looked like new. It gives you a factory finish every single time.
Well, you can see the difference there. Look how bad that is, and you don't need any of the treatments on there or any primers. You virtually just, again, paint that on, slap that on, and look at the finish. It gives this satin finish. The result is amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't leave any brush marks either. And take a look how easy it is to administer with this little clip we're showing you. This you would probably throw away. But here's Martin, he's just taking away any excess rust.
I bet with the weather we had this winter, lots of things will be like that in your garden right now. Don't throw them out. This will give them a new lease of life. It looks brand new again.
It really does.
And perhaps you like to recycle things, upcycle things. You could sell things on that you could be perhaps throwing out. It's a brilliant product.
And take a look at it here as well for things like cast iron furniture, parasols, as we're showing you once again.
But it also works on plastic, it works on wood. So if you want to match all your garden furniture, and it's all odd.
Or your pots.
It, honestly, it is tremendous.
And it's heat resistant as well.
It is. So if you want to put it around a fireplace, or if you want a
chimney.
Absolutely ideal. It withstands incredible. It goes up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which is amazing. Now, you have got a great opportunity here with the 1 litre, but actually your best deal, again, the larger you go, the better the deal, is the 2.5. And it's £45 tonight. And that is always the option that sells out first.
Yeah, it gives you a great amount of coverage as well. We'll talk about that through the show. 974362 if you want to go for the 2.5 litre, and 1665 on your first of 3 payments with PayPal Pay in 3. We do have lots of demonstrations coming up. We've also got a screen wash on the show that is tremendous value.
Because again, the weather, you're using the screen wash so much. I bet yours has probably run out. It's flashing saying it is about to run out. You've got an amazing deal there with Autocare All Season Screen Wash tablets. So you actually put these into the water, and 1 tablet will create 5 litres.
You get the empty can included, so you put a tablet in.
So you get 5
litres of water. Keep those in the glove compartment. You'll always have screen wash. It makes up to 60 litres of screen wash. Oh my word, we did a bit of research this afternoon. A 5 litre tin when we looked around. Asda 350, at Carplan 450, at Morrison's 450. This works out at 160 66 per 5
That is
litres.
incredible, isn't
Makes
it?
up to 60 litres.
And you can have that in your glove compartment in the car. So when you do need it, you've got it right there. All you need to do is then add the water to it, which is fantastic. And what a saving. And you're not throwing loads of plastic away as well. And at this time of year, and with the weather that we're having, oh my goodness, our screens are terrible, aren't they? So just the filth on your car, you know how much you're using your windscreen wipers. So it's a real good buy, that. Pop that in your basket as well.
So 225612. Do join us across the board on all of our social medias. You'll see, well, take a little look at this.
Keep up to date with all the latest news, information and special offers from Shop on TV by following us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok and YouTube. You'll find us at Shop on TV Live. Be a part of our fun community at Shop on TV.
And we are so pleased to have Martin with us. How are you, my lovely?
Great, it's lovely to see you again.
It's great to have you with us. I mean, you're from Flag Paints, and I know this is a trade paint. For anyone at home thinking, hang on, I've used a black paint, I've got it from a DIY store. This is not ROOFIX, is it?
No, I mean, this is a trade secret, really, and it's really nice to be able to bring this technology and demonstrate it, because it's really easy to do DIY. It's actually better if you're a non-painter, because all you do is slap it on, and anyone can use it. We did a show not too long ago, and the MOD will watch it, and we are an MOD-approved supplier.
Yes, Ministry of Defence and London Underground.
Yes, and a few others as well. And they said, I really like that product. We're going to do a job with it in the Falkland Islands.
Wow.
And they had some massive storage tanks, and the concrete was leaking, so they painted it with ROOFIX, and it solved the leak.
And wasn't there a really big
Europe's largest antique centre is painted with ROOFIX, and I like the fact that they tried lots of other products beforehand.
Brilliant.
And he was pulling his hair out saying, oh, I can't get anything that works. So I went and helped him to apply it. You know, it's really simple. All you do is put 1 litre on 1 square metre. Often people spread it out too much, or they put it on too thick. It's designed to work 1 litre, 1 square metre, and then it stays really flexible. It's got a really special resin in this. It's called thermoacrylic resin.
Right.
Now what that does is when it gets hot and cold, even if it's 5 or 10 years old, when it gets cold, it tightens up and it all gets small along with the surface that it's on.
Right.
When it gets warm, it almost turns to liquid again. It's really flexible,
Because
like
that's
a
what
plastic bag.
our buildings moved at. That's why it lasts so long.
And you get something called differential expansion, where you might have concrete, metal and wood, and they all expand at different rates. And that's why you get the gaps. So what you need is something that you can slap on, and then it doesn't matter whether the concrete doesn't expand in the same way as the wood. It will just bridge it and stay there and expand as required.
So it works with any building material. If you go from one built building material to another, it's going to work to last for 10 years or more. We're going to even show you how it waterproofs cardboard, which is absolutely crazy. It's phenomenal. But why does it work? I know you can't tell us the whole secret, but...
But it's a combination of the resin,
right?
But then also, and that resin, I was thinking about this, we've been using it for 30 years. Right, now, you might think, well, that's old technology, but we keep trying new technology, and there's nothing that works better as far as we're
concerned. When you've got it right, that's it. When it's worked, don't change it.
We keep going in the lab with the new ones, with water-based, with all sorts of different raw materials. The beauty of this, it's the best combination of the ease of use, the long lifespan, the price point. It's still a considered purchase, but I mean, 15 years ago, I paid £50 for a roofer just to come and look at the job.
Just to look.
That's it. So many of the 5-star reviews is how much they've saved by using ROOFIX, because if you have to get your roof repaired, it's huge amounts.
And often they do the repair and they think, oh, well, this will see me until I get my new roof. And then 9 or 10 years later, they think, actually, you know,
happy days. Not a temporary fix. It can last for 10 years or more, which is brilliant.
Now, just got to remind you, there are 3 different colour options available. You've got black, you've got grey, and you've got white. The black is absolutely flying in all the different configurations. You can see what Martin's going to show us on these colours, the Draylon fibres, because that's what knits together and stops.
It is, and there's a lot of technology in this. It might just look like a bit of fluff in here. Right, but if we can get a close-up on it, what
Yep, we're
these
coming.
are is actually Draylon fibres.
Right.
They're really specific in size and strength. If you get this wrong, it doesn't flow throughout the coating in the right way.
Right.
We've seen people try to make this, and they basically make a tin with a giant golf ball in it because it's really specific.
Yeah.
So we buy premium quality, it's Draylon fibre, it's really strong, and these are all really small pieces, but they're designed to be absolutely unique, computer controlled. They've got to be really specific down to the micron, because then these all join together and make a web of fabric throughout the paint. So what you do is slap on one coat of paint and you put in fibre reinforcement. Now the trade, what they have to do is often they will melt a surface,
Yes,
melt
you see 'em
something
doing
on.
it,
You-
yeah,
the
yeah.
old cauldrons they used
can
to take
smell
up
it,
on the
can't you?
schools.
Yeah.
They melt some tar and bitumen on, then they lay out fibre reinforcement, then they have to come back again and melt some more on. What you've got here is the modern, clever alternative to
Yeah.
that. This is simply open the tin of paint, pour it on, spread it around.
Brilliant.
As long as you've removed any sort of leaves and anything that's loose, this will adhere to anything. It's designed to go on anything you might find at the top of your bay window, your porch, your shed, your outhouse. Any roofing material works so well, so easy to do.
And that's why we've got the different colours, and this gives you an idea. When we say all building materials, we are talking all building materials.
This is ROOFIX M multi-surface wood, OSB, galvanised steel, asbestos, fiberglass, composite and plastics, metals, acrylics, all your guttering,
Yes.
PVC guttering, cast iron guttering, even concrete guttering. Absolutely brilliant. But Martin's got loads to show us. Remember, you've got 1 litre, 5 litre or a 20 litre configuration. You'll find them all on the website, shopontv.co.uk.
And the problem is, the reason we get leaks is because our building materials, they do expand and contract. My mum lives next door to a spinney, so our house moves like you
All
won't
those
believe.
trees.
So there's always a crack, there's always a leak, because everything's moving with the roots of the trees. But this actually will move with the movement of those materials. That's why it lasts so well,
It
isn't
does.
it?
I'll show you on this. If we
Yeah.
get a close-up here, you'll actually see the fibre reinforcement. Now, you've got to think,
Yes.
all you've done is slap on a coat of paint.
And that's a technical term,
It
isn't
says
it?
you slap it
Slap
on,
on.
definitely. Yeah. As long as you're not putting it onto anything that's loose, this will adhere so well.
Brilliant.
I mean, here it is on a piece of plastic. So if we've got that close up there, and when I turn it to the light, you can see there the fibre reinforcement almost looks like textured.
Right.
Now, what I'm going to do is turn it round and show the back side, because if we look on there, you don't see any
Oh, my
fibres.
word.
It's really smooth, isn't
Yeah.
it? And clear. And opaque, you know. So what it does, the resin will actually go down to the bottom. If there's any moisture, it will bring the moisture through using capillary action. It all gets very
Clever.
technical, this. I once said to the manufacturers, I said, come on, we're painting on top of pools of water. Surely we're going to trap that water and it's a problem for later. And they said, no, the water comes through. So one day I sat and ate my sandwiches on a deck chair.
Watched.
Yeah, and I did. And you could
Watching
see,
paint dry.
You could see moisture bubbles coming up.
Wow.
Like just bubbles forming
Yeah.
on the top. It brings it through as part of the curing process.
Great.
So what we've got is really good adhesion, the flexible fibre in the middle and the front. But then what we get is something that does this.
Flexibility.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much your building moves.
That's
This
great.
is not going to crack, peel or flake.
It is absolutely incredible, and you can't get this in the DIY stores. Remember, it actually lasts for up to 10 years or more, the results on all your building materials, and we'll show you those building materials as well. Lots of people are wanting to buy the big bundle, just wondering about the shelf life on it.
There isn't really a shelf life.
Brilliant.
As long as you protect the metal tin, you don't sort of leave it outside to rust.
Great.
Then the product inside it can last 2 to 5 years, no problem
Brilliant.
at all.
Brilliant.
So yeah,
That's
it's
for
well
Ellie.
worth
Hi,
going
Ellie.
for that big bundle, Ellie, because it's the biggest saving. It's like you get a tin free of charge when you get that bundle, because you save £60 practically, just
Yeah.
under £60. So that is
free
a
tin.
free tin.
And remember, it's not a bitumen. We've got to keep reminding
Yeah.
people it's so different.
You won't have bought this in a DIY store. It's so different. And we will show you the difference as well between the two. Remember, that's 20 square metres. So that's your garage, with leaving you some spare that you can put into the shed, because this is something you'll always want. Remember, we haven't had ROOFIX with us since September.
You haven't had
for
me
months.
since about...
We haven't had you for ages.
April or
This is a
something.
real
VIP
treat. We're all very excited to have the captain.
We've made extra stock. 'Cause we know what you like at selling it.
That we do. We have amazing, and that stock is depleting really quickly. So, a quick idea of just some. Well, actually, this really shows us the difference between bitumen and
It does. Every single surface here has been broken, cut, cracked. And what we can see is you've got the gap going all the way across all of these materials. And what we did, we put some bitumen first, but you can actually see it doesn't bridge the gap.
No.
It's not thick enough.
No,
it doesn't
it's
go
still
across. It just
there.
sort of goes inside. You know,
Yeah.
it's too thin. You can get thicker versions, but they don't bridge gaps because it doesn't have the Draylon fibre reinforcement. And it's those little material things that bridge over and stop everything from falling
Bitumen
down.
is more like a sort of a gloss paint, really, and though it's got waterproofing properties, like you say.
It's a very good waterproofing paint,
doesn't
but
get rid of
doesn't have the same structure, doesn't have the lifespan. And to me, somebody might say, oh, but this is half price. I found one half price. But
if it's not going to do the job.
let's say this last 10 years, I'm pretty confident bitumen doesn't last for more than 1 or 2 years if you're lucky. Your roofs have a lot of movement. They have a lot of temperature changes, a lot of weather conditions.
Especially now.
Beating rain.
Yeah.
I mean, the frost will cause the damages as well. As everything thaws out, we might find, you know, oh, it's going back to expanding again, and suddenly we get leaks.
Now, I've just got to let everyone know in the 20 litres, the one on screen right now in the black, approaching 20% of the stock gone in the black. We haven't even got any out of the tin.
You might be
yet
having
to
an
show
early
you.
bath tonight.
We'll have to have the plank off again.
That's it. See as long as you want.
Press ups, maybe.
Now, remember, it is a TV exclusive with us here on Shop on TV. I'm just imagining us all planking now.
What an image.
Perhaps with a tin on our back.
Yes.
But you need to desperately check your baskets out. It'll only be as long as the stock is there. The stock we've got is all we've got, because you make for trade. So you can only make product for us when you're not super mega busy.
You sell very large quantities very
that's
quickly.
the problem, isn't it? So you need a big lot.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is we make in such large batches, it gets a really good price that then we can pass on to the end user.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice that we can actually demonstrate the whole thing and give everybody peace of mind of what you're buying. I've often been to big hardware stores and said, why don't you stock something like this? And they go, oh no, it's too specialist. But you think, but everybody has a leaking roof, so you know, surely we'd like to fix it ourselves.
Absolutely, and so many of the 5-star reviews save a fortune when you use ROOFIX, and especially if you've already had a roofer out to give you a price, and then you do the job yourself, you'll be blown away the price and the money you've saved. So you can see here with the ROOFIX, all the gaps are completely sealed.
So the fibre and the resin just goes across all of the voids. We know it's got really good adhesion, regardless on what type of surface it's been used on. Let's remind people as well that the coverage is 1 litre, 1 square metre.
Yeah.
Now, a typical single garage roof is 15 to 18 square metres.
Right.
So if you buy the 20 litre pack and it is only 15 square metres, please don't put 20 litres on it.
No.
You don't need to.
waste it.
Save the 5 litres, help a family member, a friend or something. And what we're going to do now is show on this video the all the different areas, and we'll show the actual preparation and all the application, all the steps.
And just how easy it is. So if there's any loose bits like this, we want to get rid of those.
Yes, you don't want to paint on loose items. You just want to paint onto a nice firm surface. It doesn't matter if there's a few cracks and it's porous. All we do is we pour out on the tin, and we're going to use here a standard household squeegee. You can put it on a pole. You don't have to go on your hands and knees for this bit.
Right.
You can use a brush as well. It's worth spending a bit of extra time going around the edges with the brush, but really you just slap it on, and all you want to do is make sure you put 1 litre on 1 square metre.
So you can mark it out for each tin, really.
You can actually mark out a chalk area is a good way to do it. And you know that if you pour out the whole 5 litres, you know exactly where you've got
Just
to spread
the right
it.
And you know, it's so satisfying with the squeegee. It's absolute heaven. And it's like it self-levels. You don't really have to think about it at all. It does the job itself, really.
Yeah. It's got self-levelling properties. That's why you can't use it on a really steep incline.
Right.
a slope. So it's really designed for flat roofs. If you have an incline, a slope, you have to put 2 thin coats on.
Right, okay.
It's really designed that you put it onto a flat surface and it gets into all the cracks and crevices. It's sort of, I always think it's like that film, The Blob, you know, where it just goes down the street.
Fills in everything.
Fills in everything along the way. Luckily, it doesn't, you know, absorb people as it goes.
And the technical term, just slap it on. That's all you need to do. And remember, really, lifespan-wise, if you're going for that big bundle, what you save after you've done the garage roof, put it to one side, put it in the shed, can last up to 5 years, you were saying, which is fantastic.
Yeah, as long as you protect a tin, most solvent-based paints, if you protect them. The other thing, just a quick tip, is if you ever want to store paint more than a year, just turn it upside down. And then what happens, you don't get the heavy settlement because gradually it all goes down. So, you know, when you open a tin of paint and it's thin in the top, if you've stored it like that, obviously, just before you use it, turn it back the other way. And then you don't have to keep stirring paint. You know, so.
Lots of people asking about felt roofs on things like chicken runs or hutches. Great on felt roofs.
Yeah, anything at all. The beauty of this is you just slap it on. It can go in all the cracks and crevices. Doesn't matter how ornate it is. You might be doing valleys and gutters. You might have a junction that you've never quite been able to solve where it's leaking. The beauty of this is you can paint up the wall a little bit. You can just slap it under the tile. It's so easy to put on. I mean, we'll show some application. We'll show the squeegee. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Honestly, I did it on Mum's roof, and we'd actually had the roof fixed, but they didn't fix it, and we ended up fixing it with ROOFIX. You actually gave me a tin of paint, and I went home and did it myself. Honestly, it's so simple to apply. But if you have tried a paint in the past from a DIY store, can we see the difference between bitumen, which is what you can buy in a DIY store, which does have waterproofing properties, and the difference with our ROOFIX? Because when you see this, this funnel demonstration, it's brilliant because you really see what a difference it makes.
I'm going to wear gloves because I'm going to try and do this show without getting paint on my hands.
Look,
just for a change.
Does it matter if we get it on our hands?
No, you can wash it off. It's
fabulous. Are you out on town once you've...
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Party time.
Want your clean hands?
I'm in the theatre. Firstly, we'll just brush some out here so we can actually show... well, this is very thin.
So this is bitumen. This is what you can buy.
This is a bitumen, and doesn't it look a nice paint? You know?
Yeah,
it's nice and
glossy black
shiny.
And it's waterproof. Yeah, but on something absorbent like this, and we're not suggesting that cardboard is a roofing material, a building material, it will absorb in too much. What we'll do is we'll just use this one. So we'll do a little bit of brush application first. Got to make sure I get the
so this is our
bitumen
ROOFIX.
out of it. Now, when I bring this out of the tin, you can actually see the fibre reinforcement.
You can see it, yeah.
Like knitting. I always think you're sort of drying up like a wet curtain sort of thing.
It's instantly weaving together, isn't it?
So what we'll do is I'll just brush that at the side, and you can see the difference. Okay,
You can
put a little drop more. And put it on nice and thick, you know, don't worry about not spreading it too far. You know, it would be too easy to think, right, I'll do it this way. You don't, you just, there's no effort. This is easier than buttering bread, okay?
And you can actually see it's woven together instantly.
Exactly. And then
if I can lift that up just a little bit, is that middle bit separate?
Yeah,
Oh, it is. That's
there
good.
you go.
There you go. So you can see, and there,
Consistency is so different.
just like a shiny paint, the bitumen, and it's running. Look.
Yeah.
But then look at our ROOFIX. Can you see it's actually got the Draylon fibres, and they've all weaved together. So that weaves over the leak, and that instantly stops
it doesn't matter whether you put it on a damp surface. It doesn't matter whether it gets rained on the moment you've done it.
Wow.
Obviously, don't use it in a hurricane, but you know, in normal conditions,
your own safety.
yeah, you might get blown away as well as the roof. This is really designed that the moment you put it on, it's waterproof. So the thing with the UK weather, we've often looked at the water-based alternatives, but what we find is you might only have an hour of good weather in the day that you've chosen to do it. And what you don't want is put the water-based one on. It's not quite drying quick enough and washes off. And it gets thinned, whereas this one here is designed to cope with the water. I think we've got a demo where we actually paint a sloping board,
Yeah.
and then we put water on straight away.
Instantly.
And that was like a real-time demonstration to show that it doesn't wash off. If that was water-based, it would wash down the panel.
And I love this because you really see how it instantly is going to fix the leak. And we were talking about felt roofing and things, and you just put it a little bit underneath as well.
Yes, because we used it. It's so strong, we can use it almost like an adhesive to stick down that piece of felt.
And
then,
it was virtually as quick as
it was, yeah. I mean, we did this filming so quick. He was quite surprised. That's it now. I can go. You know,
Job done.
You go edit it, and you know, he'd taken all the different shots, and yeah, it was a really quick process because it's really quick and simple to do. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be a painter.
No.
We do keep saying slap it on, but it's that easy. I mean, if we get a piece of guttering.
Because remember, it is for your guttering as well, all building materials.
I used to carry around these pieces of guttering that were about this long.
You did, didn't you? I remember.
And I thought, why am I doing this? I only want to show the joint. So what we've got here is 2 pieces of guttering that used to be this long. And all we've done is slap on the ROOFIX inside. The only thing holding these 2 pieces of guttering, that used to be that long, is the ROOFIX inside.
Because you can see
it's
it was
so
split all the way around.
And we did it a different colour.
Is it?
No, I mean, they're totally separate pieces that we then just put on the
them back
counter,
together.
painted inside, and that's what we've
So perhaps
done.
you've got a leak at the
and
joint
it can
as
still
well.
move, you
Look at
see.
that.
This is what I like.
Right.
I mean, this is over 10 years old, and look, we can move that and know that it's not going to
amazing.
Come apart.
crack, peel or flake.
And we've only used the black just so you can see how it works. Obviously, you can use the white if you've got white guttering or if you've got a white bay window or white
Now,
conservatory.
speaking of the black, though, in the 5-litre configuration, another 20. That's 25% of the stock gone there in the 5-litre tin. $59.99. Use PayPal, paying $21.65. Remember, you find everything on the website.
Yeah, I've got
Shop on
3
TV.
options. You've got 1 litre, a 5 litre, and you've got 4 5 litres. The more you buy, the better the saving. And if you are going for the biggest bundle, it works out, you get a whole tin completely free of charge. I mean, that is phenomenal value for money. And if you think that is going to easily do your garage with some spare, could save you an absolute fortune. So many great 5-star reviews for this as well. And those 5-star reviews, people say, you know, ROOFIX, fantastic product, does what it says on the tin, very good, super sealant, great product, brilliant, easy to use, really pleased. The best of the best people have written, excellent product, very good. This paint is brilliant, exceptional product. Everybody loves it.
And it's so simple, that's the thing. Like we were saying, so easy to use. You don't need to be a DIY expert. And Martin's going to show us as we go through the show how easy it is. And that difference again, Martin, from a bitumen is massive, isn't it? The worlds apart.
I'm really proud that a lot of people say, I've painted a roof before, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, and then you say,
And you
try
can
this,
say,
try
yeah.
this.
Have a go with it.
And I've never met anyone that it didn't work for.
Great.
And we've done all sorts. I mean, we've done funeral homes, bars, pubs, schools, the MOD, you know, all sorts of industries, but then also your homes. You know, I mean, we bought a massive shed before COVID because we thought, right, you know, we know it's all going to lock down. Let's give ourselves like a little gym in the garden.
Great.
When they installed the shed, they put the nails in the wrong place. So the first time it rained, it leaked.
No.
And then trying to get somebody back out because it was COVID. Like, oh, I'm really sorry, I can't come.
Not allowed.
So, you know, we had like 16 drips inside this brand new shed. So I thought, well, I'll just get up there and ROOFIX it. And it was literally just pour it along, slap it on, and that was it. You know,
Mum had the same in we had, it's not a lean-to, but it's a glass area that goes to the outdoor, and she's got like a laundry room out there, and it leaked. She used to she knew where it was going to leak.
Yeah, there was
She'd put
tins
the
everywhere.
tins where it was going to leak, and we had 2 or 3 people out. We eventually got someone to do the job. They took the whole roof off. It was an absolute nightmare. Put it all back on, and it still leaked. They didn't fix the job, and then I myself. I spoke to you about it, and it was actually the area where it joined the house, where though it was spreading everywhere else.
Paint a little bit up the wall,
that's
like
it.
an L shape.
And it was virtually that, and it solved the problem.
Because we had one of our grandparents said, oh, the conservatives leaked for like 18, 20 years. It leaked when it was installed. We've had various people out trying to fix it. So I gave them a tin of the white ROOFIX because it was a white conservatory. They got a DIY guy in and he just painted strips all the way around. and it never leaked again.
Brilliant.
And I mean, that was about
Brilliant.
11 years ago now.
It's crazy, isn't it? So
Excellent.
not a temporary fix, lasts 10 years or more. But this is why it's so good, and this is why it's so different. It's the Draylon fibres. And it's not a paint, it's acrylic resin. So it moves, doesn't it?
So it's called a thermoacrylic resin. So a lot of people think acrylics, very strong. You know, people get acrylic nails, acrylic paints and so on. What we've got here is a thermoacrylic. So the property is that it reactivates itself with temperature.
Wow.
Now you might think, well, this is a liquid paint and it's 5 years old, 10 years old. How can it reactivate? But that's what it's designed to do. And it can almost feel like it goes back to liquid. It's like being a plastic bag that's really stretchy.
Gosh.
We're really proud of this product.
And this is why it lasts so long, because your buildings do that. They expand and contract with the weather. That's why you get the gaps and the leaks. And possibly after the weather we've had, the real cold, and then it'll start it's getting a little bit warmer. But now we're having lots of rain. This is when those leaks happen, isn't it?
Definitely. All season long, you know, it keeps changing hot and cold.
Yeah.
You can get a leak at any time. I also think if you've got a roof that's 20 years old and you've got away with it, might be the time just to, slap a coat of ROOFIX on and know then that you... And I know this is a considered purchase. You know, it's not... we're not spending £10 here. We might be spending £60 or £180, but you're solving the leak.
Yeah.
I always think that when you have a leak in your shed, your garage, your outhouse, whatever it might be, even the roof, the damage it causes is
so many things.
Could be the kid's bike in the shed. It could be your new lawnmower that you bought last year that's getting dripped on. It could be paperwork in the roof, you know, something that you really need and it's all getting soaked. Instantly, this will fix the problem. Now, this is so satisfying.
Now, I've got to be careful here because I've just got little bits of cardboard.
You've only got...
we normally have massive pieces of roofing felt, don't we?
We do, yeah.
For some reason, I didn't bring any. If you look here, a standard household squeegee, it's really simple just to drag it along. And as you drag it along, those fibres will find their own way. And that would be it. You'd put that down. That's the finish. Okay,
and you can see it's levelled itself.
And the longer you leave it, it'll level a little bit more, but it's an instant waterproofing item. Now, if that dried and it was patchy, then you've got a really, really absorbent surface, and it might need an extra coat. But in 95% of cases, it's a one-coat product.
Yeah.
You just slap on one coat. Any cheap old squeegee, I think these are 50p. And it's so quick and simple to do.
Yeah.
Even on your hands and knees with a kneeling pad, you know, just squeegeeing it around. It's easier than squeegeeing a window because all you've got to do is visually see it spread around.
It levels
and
out.
1 litre goes on 1 square metre.
So you can even mark that out with chalk. You know, if you've got a 1 litre tin, you can measure out 1 square metre. If you've got a 5 litre tin, measure out 5 litres, so you know you've done it exactly right. The biggest bundle is the busiest, and it is the biggest saving as well. It's only as long as stock is available. Your 5 litre tin is absolutely flying, but black is now 30% of the entire stock, and we haven't had stock, and we haven't had you since, well, not you, actually. We haven't had a show since September, so please grab this while the stock's available. Love the fact we've got the different colours, because it might be a conservatory that's white that's got the leak. A lot of new buildings have got a lot of grey windows. And
grey windows, grey fascias. The black, however, is absolutely flying in all configurations. It's a third of the stock in the 5 litre tin, so be quick if you want to get that one. 811037. Just going to flash up the details of that 20 litres. It's like you get one of the 5 litre tins absolutely free of charge. It's a great staple to have in your shed or your garage, just in case you have a problem. If you're doing a garage roof, there's enough there to cover a garage roof and have some left over. Remember, average garage roof about 15 to 18 square metres. You've got 20 square metres of coverage there. But in the black, once again, 20% of the stock is gone. 360407 is your item number. We've got lots of demonstrations. We're getting requests for the funnel demonstration.
I think this really shows the difference again with what you've been buying from perhaps the DIY store. You've bought bitumen, because that is a waterproofing product. But this will show you how it seals the tiniest of leaks. We've shown you sort of bigger leaks, even the tiniest of holes, how this solves the problem.
Now, I said I wasn't going to get paint on my hands.
Oh, no.
Taking his gloves off.
Oh, no.
Right, look, A little bit of paint in a funnel does that. Now, this is just the tar or bitumen-based item.
So that's why you're buying a DIY store.
Okay. So waterproofing paint, it is waterproofing paint. There's lots of different thicknesses, but it will not clog up
runs through,
the hole because it doesn't have the same structure. The ROOFIX is like a jelly type structure, and built into that is the fibre reinforcement. So if we get the same funnel,
so you can see there.
should we put a little bit more in, or?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
no,
run
I
straight
think
through.
they're happy.
You're happy?
Yeah,
You sure?
it's still
You sure?
dripping. It's
Yeah,
still
it's
dripping.
still running through
That's
there.
fine.
That's
Okay.
not solving the problem at
That's
all.
causing a bigger problem, actually, because if you put that on your leak, it's now leaking black paint over your lawnmower.
Well, you probably won't see it because it just sort of runs just inside the hole.
Right.
The thing is, if you've painted your whole roof, you only need, 3 little holes like this.
Yeah.
And that's it. Your water still comes in.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating when you think, you can't find all the tiny little holes. You don't know where it's leaking.
Exactly where
Often
they
it
are.
goes in and then travels along the joist and comes somewhere else.
Yeah.
So what we've got here is, if I can just get one of those.
One of these?
That's
There you
the
go,
one.
sir.
Okay, so if I scoop a bit of this out, right? See if we can do this.
Right,
Come on,
okay.
please get in.
So this is our ROOFIX.
So
You
this
see the
is
difference
ROOFIX.
instantly.
Now what it'll do, it'll move down the funnel ever so slightly, but it will clog itself. It will lock into place. Right, so don't know if
That
I
is
can show
it,
that's
that's
the background.
amazing.
So the other one ran out straight
stopped.
away. So what we've got here is the jelly structure. This is thermoacrylic resin. We've got the Draylon fibre reinforcement. There's no heating things up. There's no melting and pouring out and spreading. This is open the tin of paint and slap it on. And if there's a hole, it will find its way into it and lock itself there.
I mean, that is incredible, isn't it? You can see how it's actually sealed the leak instantly. And remember, even if it rains straight away, it's working. And on top of that, it can last 10 years or more. It's not a temporary fix. And any building materials, that is the biggest thing, isn't it?
All these different surfaces that you see here. If you've emailed and asked about different surfaces, here you can see just some of the surfaces we're talking about, whether it's wood, OSB, galvanised steel, asbestos, fiberglass. Someone asked about fiberglass. I think that was Sam. Hi, Sam. Composite plastics, metals, acrylics, UPVCs. And then when you go to your gutters, it's all your different guttering, PVC, cast iron, metal, copper. It's ROOFIX M for multi-surface. It's going to fix those leaks in an instant, but it's not a temporary fix. This can last for 10 years and beyond. And it's so simple to apply as well. You literally just slap it on, as you see in this clip here.
And so many great 5-star reviews. The leak is there, and it's as simple as this. It doesn't matter if it's damp, but if there's any debris, any leaves, move it away. If it's a guttering, get rid of the leaves. And then you virtually just slap it on with a squeegee or with a paintbrush. Self-leveling properties. If it rains straight away, and it was that quick that we did this clip, that it was, it wasn't dry, but instantly it had solved the leak, it had solved the problem. And that wasn't temporary. And then you get the builders out, get the roofing people out. That can last 10 years or more.
beyond, yeah.
And one 5-star review said that, they're going to get the roof repaired. Their garage roof was leaking. They'd had estimates for about £3,500, and ROOFIX solved the problem. But it might be your guttering. It's gushing down the house at the minute because there's a gap in your guttering or the guttering split.
And it can be the smallest gap or a bigger gap when it comes to ROOFIX, because it bridges that gap, as Martin was saying. You've got black, you've got white, and you've got grey. If you want an instant fix with any leaks, ROOFIX is the
And
answer.
we are massively busy. Haven't had ROOFIX since September. So that was September, October, November, December. So 3 months. So imagine if you get a leak in the next 3 months and we don't have Martin back, we haven't got ROOFIX available. We don't have it every day of the week. What we do is we order a big bulk of stock and lots of that stock already gone. But then it's a trade paint, so you're very busy making paint for trade, aren't you? You can only have it when you can get
We are, and
stock.
this is only one of the products we do, but
Yeah.
I like the fact that this is such a problem solver. We've probably,
easy.
most of us had a leak at some point in our lives, and if we haven't already, at some point, it just happens. That's what building materials, they need protection. I mean, we put roofing felt on so many materials. The supplier told me there's 600 different types of roofing felt in the UK.
Gosh.
Gosh.
Well, you see all these green sheds, but
Wow.
there's so many different versions.
And this will work on all of
grades.
them?
It does, yes.
Brilliant.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And it's so simple to use. What I'll do is I'll do this demonstration
I
here,
love this.
Great.
Is my favourite.
but I will need the water that's
Okie
down
dokie.
by-
No worries.
So at the top of the show,
Ta-da.
I said we're going to waterproof cardboard. Now, I know cardboard isn't a building material, but you know
Bit
how
extreme.
horrendous cardboard is. If you've got the wine carriers and they get wet, you've lost your wine. The cardboard just goes soggy and destroyed.
I don't like these paper bags.
No.
Because if you get caught in the
Same,
ground, it's just,
yes.
your shopping's on the floor.
Actually, my sister-in-law, Sean's sister, she bought our Christmas presents at Christmas market.
and she got caught in
and
the
she got caught in the
pouring
rain. She said, "I'm really sorry, the box is destroyed," she said. And that's exactly what happens to cardboard.
Yep. Now, I've got a challenge for your gallery, and that is to find the picture of my niece
We've got them.
at sea
We've
in
got
a cardboard box.
We've got them.
We've
Here we
got
go,
'em.
look.
Right.
Well, let's do this
We'll
demo
explain
first,
those in a
and then
minute,
we'll
why we've
explain
got those pictures.
Well done for finding them so quickly. So what we've got is a standard cardboard box.
Okay.
We've got holes there, gaps there, and this is the problem that we've got to solve. We've got to solve this problem. We've got to get it in there and seal everything.
That's
So
your leak, isn't it? If
it
that
is,
was your roof,
you know,
that's your leak.
I mean, it will come through the porous surface anyway, but you've basically got a big gap there as well. So what we've done is this is the competitor's material, bitumen, and that's 2 coats on cardboard.
So that's what you can buy in a DIY store.
It
'cause
looks
remember,
quite
ROOFIX,
good.
you can't. It is. It's a nice finish. It's like a nice glossy black paint.
Yep. But we're not gloss painting a door here.
No.
No.
And we might be putting it on lots of different building
We're trying
materials.
to solve a problem, aren't we?
are. So just a little drop of water. In fact,
Do you want me to
want
hold that?
There
Absolutely.
we go. And I will pour a little drop in.
Now, the problem is, no gaps have been bridged there, have they? So it
Because
literally pours
it
through.
can't get into the cracks and crevices. It's not thick enough. It doesn't have the strength of the resin. And basically, that will just run straight through. So imagine you've spent all the time painting with
can you
the waterproof
imagine?
paint, and you only need 2 little holes, and that's it.
That's it.
Oh,
No
you'd be
good.
devastated, wouldn't you? You'd like,
So-
never again.
What we've got here is the 15-year-old box.
And we've known this box for 15 years.
No, it's been sat on, I
Hello.
think. I think the previous presenter sat on it. When I got it, I thought, it's crushed, you know. I think he put it down and thought, this is strong, I'll sit on it. No.
I bet it's still waterproof. So we'll see.
If we look inside, it has had a couple of coats. You can see how thick and gloopy that looks, but we're not gloss painting a door here. We don't need this to look ultra smooth.
No.
You'll see the fibres, you'll see the reinforcement,
I
but
think
you'll
it
know.
still looks smart.
Oh yeah,
though.
it's
If that was your roof on your shed.
definitely and it's how. What you really want though is the performance, and I
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
that we can. You
It's a
don't have to
leak
hold
we
this
wanna
one because
solve.
I can put plenty of water in this
I
one.
love this. 15
Plugging
years,
away there.
and for days on end, it stands with water in it at shows and exhibitions,
It does,
doesn't it?
yeah.
Trade shows. Look at that. There's no leaks, nothing,
That's
nothing,
it. There's no
nothing
exit.
coming through.
No.
That stain at the front, I think that was.
It's solvent actually. It's
it
white
was,
spirit.
wasn't it? It
It's
was.
white spirit.
I remember someone spilt it on it.
Yeah. So it's not liquid actually. That is white spirit, which is oily. So if you go all the way around, well, if
Still,
you hold
it's
it,
not. Look.
can you hold it over my head?
Oh, you're sitting brave, man.
And the only
Can't
drip
reach
under,
my head.
I'm a bit wobbly.
and the only drip underneath it. There's-
Oh my word!
Look
Sorry,
at
I
how
just
much
banged
water.
my microphone. I was like, oh my goodness, don't do that. I'm so
One day I
ticklish.
will.
You'll be all
Yeah,
over your
I
head. I mean, that is amazing. That's cardboard, and we've waterproofed cardboard. That's how good this is. And it was your niece, wasn't it?
Let me show there. A little bit of water splashed over. So that's what it looks like when it's wet.
Yes.
Right? So let's look underneath. I know it doesn't leak. It's not
I
going
can
to
remember this happening, actually. I can remember when this got stained. I'll tell you later who did it. But you can still see, even though that's
Get
damaged
him.
on the outside, it's still waterproof.
It's a
on the
scrappy old
inside.
box,
Yeah.
this, and it's been
15 years.
It's been used for months and months of demonstrations. You know, we used to just leave it on the counter, full of water up to there,
And with your little
the
ducks in.
And people come up and go, "What's that?" You know.
Yeah.
And people have used this for ornate ponds. You know, for things that we don't recommend it for fish. 'Cause
Right.
It's not been tested.
No.
Right.
But anywhere that's a water feature, you can basically make a pond out of it, almost like a
One
swimming
of
pool
Mum's
type
water
thing.
features leaks.
Yeah, it
I haven't even
does.
thought of using it for that.
Brilliant.
Oh my
And
word.
so multi-purpose.
I'm so busy.
Yeah.
And remember, I haven't had it in stock since September. You need to check your baskets out. This is your niece. And they had a bit of An experiment?
So it was called the cardboard box competition.
Okay.
And what you had to do is build a boat out of cardboard and go to sea. So that's my niece at sea in a cardboard
There's
box.
a couple sinking at the back,
Yes.
which I'm not surprised.
They've had it.
And were they the winners?
No, they won Best Design. They didn't win because he didn't quite have enough paint, and she was splashing around so much she got lots of water inside.
Oh, no.
Brilliant, I love it.
But she was quite far
But
out at sea.
the outside completely waterproof where you've used the paint, and that's what it's all about.
And I'm not claiming she went across the channel. In,
Cardboard boat, no.
I remember seeing it in the paper. I mean that is phenomenal. She's actually sailing in a cardboard box, but because it's been painted with ROOFIX, it's waterproof. Remember, you've got 3 different options available. You desperately need to check your baskets through. If you've got any questions, email in. We've got the man himself with us tonight, so we can ask any questions. I think we have got some questions.
Yeah, John's emailed in and asked about a slate roof, so a tile, a slate tile, but that's like what we've got here, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's almost like a ceramic type tile. I think it's a clay tile.
Okay. Right.
You can basically use it on any tile that isn't glossy.
Right.
So if you had like the shiny ceramics, it might struggle. It might,
Right.
you know, because basically if it's shiny, you need to scratch it.
Right, right. So if you scratched it, it would then work. Fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
because, you know, we've got shiny plastic there. All we did
Yeah.
is scratch it ever so slightly, and then you get great adhesion.
Okay.
Great.
So I do know it's been used on slate. And the beauty, again, is you just pour it in and sort of mop it around all the area. It finds its way into
Brilliant.
everything.
I had another one from Steve. Steve was asking about fiberglass, but it's good on fiberglass.
It is, yes. The only thing on fiberglass, if you've got something that's more than 10 years old, fiberglass gets really porous because it gets bleached by the sunlight.
Okay.
So worst case, you might have to do 2 coats.
Oh, gosh.
The way you can tell that is you put your coat on, and if it's uniform in its finish, it's fine. If you get big patches, you can tell it's been sucked into the fiberglass.
Put another coat on.
You can either just paint that patch or do the whole thing again.
So even if it's really old, it's still going to work. You just might need to use two coats.
And the beauty with fiberglass, it gets really porous because it can be quite thick. It can be built up over time, and then sunlight just attacks
So
it.
is it a good idea to do it now before it leaks as well?
It's always a good idea to do it before it leaks, because to me, the cost when it's leaking, you've then got to maybe repaint inside or scrape some plaster off, or you've got to do other things, you know. You've got other damage, whether it's your home or the items within your shed and your bay window, things like that. I always think don't leave it too long. I mean, I don't want to sort of make people worried that, oh, I better go paint all my bay windows and everything. You know, some of the modern materials are designed to last for 20 years.
Yeah.
But I think you can tell when it's getting weathered.
Absolutely, absolutely. You'll look at your shed or you'll look at your bay window and think it's probably probably on its way.
And often on your shed, what happens is it starts to curl up. You start to get, you can see that some bits are so worn they're splitting and actually curling up. I always say just rip those and leave it firm. You don't necessarily have to go and replace the felt or whatever the covering is. Maybe just patch prime that.
Right.
So one little coat of ROOFIX there, and then do the whole thing. You know,
Fabulous.
so you don't have to go out and re-felt the roof just because one little area is damaged. And you can use it for spot repairs as well. You don't have to paint the whole roof.
Right.
If you want to buy 1 litre, it's 1 square metre, and you think, I know it's that.
I know exactly where it is.
Do that.
That's why we give you all those options. Remember, 1 litre, 5 litre, or 20 litres. 1 litre gives you a square metre of coverage. The website is where you'll find all the deals that we've got for you. Everything's listed there for you. We are going to talk about Black Magic in a few moments. That's another great product that you absolutely love. In the 1 litre, though, 50% of the stock has gone in the black option.
We so often have sellouts. The more you buy, the better the deal, really. So if you are going for the 4 5 litre tins, you get a tin completely free of charge. We're busy on every option. And remember, the 4 litres will do a whole garage roof and you'll have spare. But have a look at the results and have a look at some of the building materials we've used it on, because honestly, this allows you so quickly and so easily to apply, but to get these fabulous results time and time and time again. But going from one material to the other, it's going to waterproof every building material that's available, as we just waterproof cardboard, ROOFIX will work on.
You're seeing the difference. Well, this is the before, that's the after that you can see there. Not only does it solve the problem, it also looks really good as well. It reinvigorates the actual surface that you're working on, stopping those leaks in an instant, but not a temporary fix. This is going to last for 10 years and beyond. Look at the size of that hole in that guttering. Well, it fills the gap.
You'd think you'd have to replace it, wouldn't you? But you don't. ROOFIX will bridge that gap with the Draylon fibres, the acrylic resin, and it'll last for 10 years or more. It's not a temporary fix. Self-leveling properties, so when you use the brush or the squeegee with it, it virtually levels itself. This is a bit like what Martin was talking about. If you have got a sort of a dent where it holds the water, just going to apply a little bit there first, and then you can apply over the whole of the roof. Or perhaps you know exactly where that leak is, so apply it just in that area. But remember, sometimes leaks can be not where you think they're coming from.
The application's really simple, really easy. Remember, 1 litre will give you 1 square metre of coverage, so you can mark that out if you want to, so you know exactly how to use it. It levels itself out. You literally slap it on, you can spread it out with a squeegee, or you can use a brush, completely up to you. Black, white and grey available in all configurations at the moment.
Bay windows, conservatory roof, perhaps you've got a lean-to. Honestly, it is phenomenal. It is a TV exclusive ROOFIX M, and ROOFIX M means you can use it on all building materials, multi-surface. But it's also really easy as well to apply. You do just slap it on. There's no other instructions. You virtually paint it or put the squeegee over it, and the job is done. And remember, instant fix can last 10 years or more.
And also remember, it's not a bitumen paint. This has got Draylon fibres inside that knit together. They bridge that gap.
You can only buy it from trade or from us here on Shop on TV. It's a trade paint, and we haven't had a show since September last year, and I think that's one of the reasons we are so massively busy. We had a vast amount of stock. That's why we don't have shows as often as we'd like, because we do have to get a lot of stock to get a really good deal. So if you are going for our 4 tins, that is an amazing deal, because it should be £240. You're saving 60. So you're actually getting a whole tin, which is normally £70 at full price, a whole tin completely free of charge.
And that'll give you 20 square metres of coverage. So if you're thinking of a garage roof, between 15 and 18 square metres,
so you'll have spare.
Plenty to cover that, and then you'll still have some left over. It is the best value. You can use PayPal Pay in 3 and spread the cost interest-free. 360407 is your item number, and 6231 on your first of 3 payments.
I think one of the reasons we're so busy as well is the weather we've had, and with the weather going so cold and so hot and so wet, and you know, our weather changes all the time, doesn't it? And that creates these splits and these problems, and this is how easy it is to solve that problem. So there's your leak, and wherever that may be, whether that's in the house, whether that's in the shed, whether that's the bay window, you apply with a brush or a squeegee, and it's so satisfying to apply it with a squeegee. Self-leveling properties there, and then instantly. I mean, we filmed that and then put the water on it straight away, and it's instantly waterproof. So even if the heavens open after you've applied it, it's working straight away.
That's why it's so great, isn't it? An instant fix as soon as you've applied it, as Hayley just said, and then lasting 10 years and beyond sometimes. This configuration is flying out of the door. If you want it in black, 40% of the stock has gone in the 20 litres. It is like you're getting a tin free of charge. So that is the one to go for.
We've only been on an hour. We've only been on air an hour. We were on air till 3 o'clock. That is going to sell out. Please do check your baskets out while the stock is available. I'm really busy on this. Check your baskets through. We're going to let you do exactly that, actually, so we know what stock we've got available. Please check those baskets through whilst we've got the stock available. But another product from Flag Paints, which we love and you love, is, of course, our Black Magic. And this is a rust converter.
And you can see what it does there straight away. We've got a little sample by the 1 litre tin. It's a rust converter converter that you don't have to treat anything
So no
before
primer.
you apply it. No. Take away any excess bits of rust, obviously, with a wire brush, but then paint it on. Doesn't leave any brush marks. It gives you that factory finish every time. And it's not just on metal surfaces. You can use it on so many surfaces. How many times have you looked at your PVC drain pipes, the down pipes, and thought, oh, they've faded in the sun? This is going to be brilliant for that. We've used it on cast iron balustrades outside.
Yeah, perhaps you've got railings around the house and things, and they've gone terrible through the weather that we've had, a chimney and things like that. It withstands really high temperatures.
Yep,
so even if you are going to use the chimney, it'll withstand temperatures up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. But all your garden furniture or your pots, because again, most materials this will adhere to.
Yeah, multiple materials you can use it on. So you could have different types of materials in your pots out in the garden. You want them all to
and you
match.
can match them all. Your furniture, perhaps you've got wooden furniture and you've got plastic and you've got some wrought iron. You could actually paint it so it all matches brilliantly.
And if it's rusty and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to throw that away, don't. Use black magic on it.
Have we got my favourite picture? The Love Heart chair. Oh, I love it. There's this gorgeous chair. We'll ask Martin about it as well. And it painted it in about 20 minutes. It looked brand new
now, again. You're throwing that away.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like it's beyond repair. In about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, that's what it looked like. It could actually have a little tag on that now with a few £100 on, couldn't it? It could be in a garden centre for sale. I think that gives you an idea of how, when you apply it, it'll go onto anything ornate and it never, ever leaves any brush marks. It looks like that's how it was when you bought it, not like it's been repainted. It's brilliant.
Yeah, so if you want to upcycle or recycle for yourself, but brilliant for that. What surfaces can you use it on? So many different surfaces. Like we said about wooden garden furniture, plastic garden furniture, metal garden furniture, brick and stone, wood, painted metal, rusty metal because it's got that rust converter in there, PVC, and we'll show you it on glass. I was amazed that you could use it on glass as well. And it's heat resistant, so if you want to use it on maybe fire surrounds or chimneys in the garden.
Absolutely, and it looks so incredible. I know people have used it on motorbikes, they've used it on bumpers of cars.
Car bumpers that faded.
Even the interior of a car, actually, because virtually any material. Price-wise, your best option is what you've got on the screen. It is the busiest, and we do tend to sell out of this option time and time again. So whilst we do have stock, and once you've used this once, you'll be going around the garden finding other things, and then you'll look in the house as well and think, well, actually, perhaps you've got the bolts on the door
interior,
and they're black.
Yeah, your Yale locks, that kind of thing.
And if you've got pine, yes, like that, absolutely like that. And look at the state of that, and look at the difference after you've applied it. And it again looks like this is how you bought it.
You've also got PayPal available on the 2.5 litre tin, so £16.65 on your first of 3 interest-free payments. 974-362 is your item number. When it comes to application, the application again is really easy. Like Hayley was saying, you don't leave any brush marks behind.
And you don't need any primers either. If there's sort of loose bits of rust, just sort of rub those off. But then you paint directly onto the rust and wait till you see the finish. It's better if you're not a painter, actually, because you'll just spend too much time. You can virtually just dab it on and the job is done just like that in an instant.
And again, if you're upcycling or recycling, you get that perfect factory finish every single time. Lots of items that you see in these clips like this, you would probably be throwing out. But just take away any excess rust, as you can see there, use a wire brush, take that away, and then you're ready to apply it. I am not a DIYer of any standard, but I did the black balustrade outside our front door and it looks like we had a professional in.
It absolutely does. And you know, Martin, the great thing is as well is we're not going to go back to that next week and the rust is coming back through.
No, it's designed to treat the rust, it converts it into a polymer and locks it into the resin of the paint.
Clever.
So you don't have to use a separate rust treatment, you don't have to use a separate primer. It's a one-coat product that primes, treats the rust and then gives a weatherproof finish as well.
Which is amazing. So after the winter we've had, there's going to be so many areas you'll want to use that. And I love the fact it works on virtually everything. It's easier for me to ask, I think, what doesn't it work on?
Shiny chrome. That's the only thing we found it didn't work on. And even then, if you rub it down, I don't know why you would. If it's really nice shiny, then leave it, you know. But you can put it onto shiny metals as well. You just abrade it a little bit, make it look a little bit flat, and then slap on a coat of the Black Magic. But it's a surface tolerant paint. It works really well on things like brown rusty metal. It's just perfect for it. Now this is actually prepared ready to paint. We don't have to spend a long time getting the rust away. As long as we've wiped it down after we've given a little wire brush.
Bits, right? Okay.
If you do all the preparation, then you wipe your hand on it and your hand is orange, you're just painting on top of dust.
Right.
We don't want that. We want the paint to be able to get in contact with the metal. It doesn't matter that it's all rusty. It's got a really special ingredient in this, and I know how special it is because we're the only company in the UK that buys it. They've told us so many times.
Great.
We buy it in massive quantities.
Yeah.
It comes from overseas, and they say to us, you're the only company that makes this in a paint product. So what we've got is, it's water-based black paint. I don't mind saying that, but it's really nice quality. It's acrylic resin, and then you've got the special chemistry in there, but it's all encapsulated in water. This is not acid. There's no horrific,
Smell or anything,
beware of this while you're using it. This is not an acid. A lot of people think turning brown rusty metal into that black thing is the old phosphoric acid, where you would treat it in acid and then it would turn the rust black.
Right.
Then you'd have to prime it, maybe undercoat, and certainly put a top coat on. What we've got here is water-based. Slap it on to brown rusty metal, and it's really quick and simple.
Oh, it's amazing, and it doesn't have to be just metal because you've got loads of ideas here. Oh, look at this.
But just to show, this here it's a trivet, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So, and it has been used in a kitchen with pans on it and that. It's really durable, which is what I like, and it doesn't look like you coated it.
No, it looks like that's how you bought it.
It looks like that's how we bought it. I don't know if we can actually tell. We used to have it on the other side where you could see the original finish.
Right.
But I think we got carried away in a show and painted the whole thing.
It looks new again, doesn't it?
To me, what I love about this is it looks like you bought it like that. It doesn't look like... I don't like it when you can see the brush marks in something that, you know...
There's nothing worse. I remember we had...
It looks like you've done it yourself.
When we moved into our house, they'd obviously painted the doors, but you could see they'd painted the doors, and there were drip marks and brush marks. It was like every time I pushed a door open, it was like, oh, I'm going to have to get rid of... And I did actually get rid of all of them, but I should have painted them really with Black Magic. That would have been much better. Because, and I'm talking about wood there, and you might be thinking it's not going to work on wood. I think this is such an amazing example because how different does this look?
Now, this is a finial. Do you know the definition of a finial?
No.
It's a fancy knob. I know that because it was on a game show, OK? I'm not making this up.
I knew there was
a fancy knob. So these fancy knobs, right, are the end of curtain poles.
Yes.
Now, the beauty of this is you also have the rail to go with it.
Yeah.
And maybe that is not the fashion you want anymore.
No.
Maybe
a bit
you're
dated, maybe.
and you're just trying to make it look different. To me now, we've got it looking cast iron.
Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it?
But also, I mean, we've just slapped on a coat of water-based paint onto something that's difficult to paint because this is years old and it's also really hard varnish.
Right.
So what we've got is a water-based paint that we're able to slap on really easily. But we also know that we can drag the curtains across it, and it's not going to come off. Flake. It's not going to come off. That's really durable, and this is one of my favourites. So this is, we're not talking about the roofing repair anymore. This is everyday multi-surface paint that just happens to have a rust converter in it. But if you don't use it on rusty metal, the chemistry behind the rust conversion does nothing. It just dries within the polymer of the paint. But when we put it onto plastic, I really like this demonstration because this is a real building material that you might use, downpipes or guttering. And look at that flexibility. Gosh. And this is years old. You know,
doesn't crack,
peel or flake, really good adhesion. and your building's not going to move like this.
No.
But
And it looks so good, doesn't it? The finish is amazing. Perhaps you're trying to sell your property and it looks quite tatty on the outside. If you painted all these areas, it'd look all new and fresh again.
we call it curb appeal, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might have your
Definitely.
pipe work, your railings,
Yeah.
your hanging baskets.
When we bought our first house, I'd drive round to the houses that were for sale, and if I didn't like it from the outside, I didn't even
No,
go
don't bother going in.
inside. So if you've tidied up all the outside, and when you first actually bought this 2TV, show us the demonstration that you showed.
The buyer was quite sceptical.
Yeah, we went in with a bottle like this, and I said, look, this is painted, and look how flexible it is.
It's just like a regular pop
Right.
bottle.
Now this is years old, and I think it's starting to fail. There's some tiny bits there, but look at how we can move that.
Still.
Okay, and look, it looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sort of
Yeah.
almost
Finishes
looks
still.
like that's how it was designed out of the
Yeah.
factory.
Yeah.
This is a pop bottle that, if you painted it with a normal paint, the moment it moves,
That
it,
what-
it
yeah.
just
Flakes
comes
off.
away.
Yeah.
And I used to paint these for every show, and then I'd do that, and he'd go all over your hands every time, all over my car. And I thought, well, I think we've proved it now.
There's the
It
point.
doesn't stick. But this is the one, and it is the original bottle. It's got the old label on and everything. The buyer said, give me that. And he got this pop bottle, and he got to imagine, used to be like that. And he went, okay then.
Let's see if it works.
And he went, yeah, I'm impressed.
And it ruined your bottle. But that's
But
how
I
good
kept
it is.
it. I thought,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not saying it's indestructible, but look at that.
But it's
It's
tough.
on a piece of plastic, and this is thin black paint. But then we can put it onto metal items
I
like
think
this.
this is great.
So the same thing we've just put onto flexible plastic, and we can put it on glass as well. We'll show all these demonstrations. You can go straight onto this brown rusty metal. You can also, when this paint left on, don't spend loads of time getting it off. I always think if it's adhering well, leave it. You know, it's doing its
Right.
job.
go over.
Okay.
So what you do is a quick wire brush on this, wipe away the dust, the loose items, and slap on the coat of paint.
And look at the difference instantly. No primer. That was it. You just paint this directly on, which I
Factory
love.
finish again. Looks new.
I love this because there's a great story as well
There is,
behind
yeah.
this.
So-
you did have 2 of these.
I
didn't you?
think I had about 3 of them. I bought them from a charity shop, and I put them outside next to the plant pots, you know, a bit of a decoration, a little cherub or whatever you call it. Turns out they're designed for inside because they're made of plaster of Paris. So I went out one day and it was
Washed
just
away.
a lump of white, you know.
Not quite the angel.
now
you
you've
thought.
But the one I
Painted this.
painted
Aha.
was fine.
So this will always be fine.
Because it's weatherproof now. I mean, this is a weatherproof coating. If you think using a masonry paint on the outside of your house, part of it is to make it look nice, but part of it is also the protection of your
Yeah.
property. So what you've got here is something you can use outside on your metal railings, your balustrades, your gates, your hanging baskets. I mean, I always think on new builds, my pet peeve, if you like, is the gas box that comes in a horrible brown colour. Sometimes they leave it brown, sometimes they put like a coat of white or black on it,
Yeah.
but it's the first thing to flake because
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
they put anything on it, look,
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
the colour, and
the
6 months
beginning.
later it's peeling. And the beauty of this is you can make it look like cast iron,
Yeah.
and that's what I like. We can take any surface
I mean, this is incredible.
and you make it look like cast iron.
And this, I'm thinking as well, if you have got sort of pipes like this, these can go in the sun really sort of powdery, can't they, and nasty and
They
fade.
can. If you've got your down pipes and your guttering and it's a few years old, you'll see they go chalky, and it's called chalking.
Yeah,
Right.
it does. It goes chalk.
Gets
it
that
does.
warm,
exactly,
white
yeah.
finish.
And
It's in that
literally-
clip of film that we show,
Yeah.
actually. It's all faded.
Different, it's
isn't it?
amazing.
And
And we-
literally, you put your hand on it and you have chalk because that's what it
Yeah,
does.
it
and
is,
it's the
it's powder.
sunlight that's doing that to it.
This is great because I threw all ours out because they looked so old, didn't they? And they'd really spoil and dated, and that looks now really modern. And again, it's going to weather really great.
And
So
it's
a little
easy to
solar
do,
light.
even though it's a really uneven surface, isn't it, Martin?
Yeah,
And you
we'll
still see
do a
all
bit of
the
painting in a
work?
minute. We'll
Great.
show just how easy it is to get to all the crevices.
The glass, that's, I mean, you wouldn't think, would you? But it works on glass.
And then everybody gets hold of this and tries to scratch it off. But, you know, we have painted a piece of glass and it looks like, again, a factory finish. And minimal brush marks, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like you've
And this, I think, is brilliant. Perhaps you've got some old sort of units in your office and they've got the horrible plastic wheels on that look really cheap and nasty. Look at the difference.
And the
Just brings
reason I
it up
wanted to
date.
show this as well is because it's such a thin coating, it's not gloopy, the wheels still work.
Right.
Yeah.
So the wheels work. It doesn't clog up if you've got something that's sort of textured
So if you have
or
hinges,
ornate.
brackets, things where it needs to move,
It will.
because of its flexibility
So
and because
clever.
it's so thin. Because a lot of people, the traditional paint, especially for metal, are like hammer finish paints. But I'm not a lover of those really.
Right.
They're quite gloopy and solvent based and not easy to use. And what we've got here is a one coat product, water-based black, really strong acrylic resin, but really flexible. Sometimes you get really strong paints, but they're strong and brittle. They're tough, but they're not flexible. What you really want is something that will stay with the adhesion, and you know it can move.
We've used it on a bike, didn't we? Because we left the bikes outside and they rusted.
Yeah, they
really
got all
badly.
rusty on
And
the
it looked-
outside,
and
yeah.
it looked brilliant. The finish.
They look
was
new again.
Absolutely
And
fantastic.
there's loads of befores and afters that we're going to share with you because there's so many different surfaces you can use it on. And remember, it is also heat resistant. So if you want to use it on fire surrounds and things like that, look at these exercise bikes. These exercise bikes were going to get thrown out. The regular bike that you can see there looks new again, doesn't it? It gives you that gorgeous factory finish time and time again, whatever
I mean, look,
surface
that's
you
just
use
like
it on.
our bike looks. And I love the fact it withstands really high temperatures, doesn't it?
It does, up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So some people have used it on exhaust. Some
Oh,
exhausts do
gosh.
go beyond that, but I've used it on motorcycle exhausts. And it's a lovely finish because, I mean, it just looks like a factory finish.
And it looks like that's how you bought the bike. I love this one. That was a friend of yours,
Yeah, and
wasn't it?
my friend went off to the supermarket and I thought I'm going to surprise her. I got the wire brush out the car, very quickly wire brushed it, wiped it down and just slapped on a coat of Black
It
Magic.
looks new
And
again.
she come back and couldn't believe it.
No.
She thought I played a trick on her and swapped it for a new one or
Brilliant. I love it. And then you probably have thrown that out and now it looks like it's worth hundreds of pounds. Any sort of gates, we've all got sort of items like this outdoors, haven't
Look
we?
at that difference.
Yeah,
That
and they
wrought
do
iron
look so
finish.
tatty,
Yeah,
don't they?
indoors as well.
And when you've got ornate items, you don't want to cover up those nice
The
features.
detail, yeah.
absolutely.
You also want it strong enough that you can touch it every day and use it. It's
Yeah.
really durable.
Own a garage door, what a great idea.
Yeah, because garage doors really flexible, so when they're done badly, they crack, and peel and flake. And things that you just need them to be durable, weather resistant. I mean, here we've got plastic pipes.
Oh, look at the difference. I've just thought, would it be good on a radiator?
Yes, yeah, my
lots
my
of paint
radiator in my office is painted with Black Magic because I have a desk with all black metal feet, and I didn't like the white radiator, so now it blends in. No, you don't see the radiator,
Right.
and it looks like a classic cast iron type radiator
Right.
now.
Because Mum, a painter, painted Mum's radiators and they've all flaked because they
use
haven't
a
used the
heat-resistant paint, yeah.
heat-resistant paint. Would be brilliant.
Your two issues are you need heat resistance, but also a lot of products nowadays are factory finished with, I'm trying to think what they're called, powder coatings.
Right.
So what they do is they put in the minimum amount of coating, and it's a really specialist application. Now
Right.
radiators are not too bad because as long as we don't scratch amongst them, you know, we don't touch them and they're okay. My pet peeve is when we get all these really nice looking furniture items and we put them outside and they don't last one year.
No.
Yeah.
Because they're just designed to
just
look
weather.
nice in the
Yeah.
shop.
So again, you're giving them extra life, or bringing them back to life. And this is how easy it is to apply. We'll just show you very quickly because you only need to see it really quickly because it is so
easy to do, yeah.
and it gives such a great result.
Tiny bit of the paint on the brush. Do we need to tilt
Lift it
this
up
up
a
a little
little
bit? Okay. Now, because it's not thick and gloopy, we haven't got it splashing everywhere. We can dab it on,
Yeah.
we can brush it, but don't go too far because it's very easy to take one brushful and
really
do
spread it.
all of that. But what we want to do is liberally apply it because what we're doing is we're putting a rust converter, a primer and a top coat all in one coat. It goes a very long way, even though I'm putting it on quite thick, because at the end of the day, this is really clever technology. It's not thick, gloopy paint, but don't take one bushful and do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just keep dabbing it
Dabbing
in and
it
keep refreshing
is
it.
definitely the best way to go, and you'll see that as you use it. Massively busy on this, and this is the busiest size as well, 2.5 litres. Do check your baskets out. Best way to shop, because we are busy on those phones, is on our website. A quarter of the entire stock has sold out.
Yeah, in the 2.5 litre, absolutely flying. Shopontv.co.uk, easiest way to shop. You'll find everything there. Make sure you check out our Rich Energy drink that we've got available on the website. You're getting 24 cans of Rich Energy for just $24.99. It's pure mountain spring water, the finest ingredients, great taste. It's a premium energy drink.
And it doesn't have that nasty aftertaste that you often have with energy drinks. A real favourite, so grab that. Works out at £1.04 a can.
That's brilliant
Which
value
is incredible.
for energy drinks. Yeah, absolutely fabulous at that kind of price, $24.99. Now, we've got to get back to where we began the show.
And it is always the hero of the show. And it's ROOFIX. It does exactly what it says on the tin. If you've got any leaks, this will fix any leaks on any building material. And the best deal, which is the 5 litres, my word, the price is incredible. But actually, the 5 litre, which we've got the details on the screen right now, we've just realised half the entire stock has sold out and gone. So if you do want that, and that will cover 5 square metres, you do need to check your basket out. But if you times that, well, normally it's £70, so we've got it on offer at the minute, £59.99. If you bought 4 of them, it'd work out about £240, £239.96.
On the reduced price, yeah.
Yeah. You've got this at £179.99. So you're saving £60. So it's like you're getting a tin completely free of charge. But really, it's even better than that, because that £60 is a reduced price from £70. So you're getting a tin completely free. And this will cover the garage roof, and you'll still have some spare.
Well, each litre covers a square metre of coverage, so up to 20 square metres. Your average garage roof between 15 and 18 square metres. Half the stock, 50% of the stock in the black option is gone. 360407 is the item number. It's simple and easy to apply. Just get rid of any excess debris on the roof surface or whatever surface you're applying it to, and then take it out. What Martin always says, measure out the area, and then you know exactly how much to put down.
You virtually just slap it on. Around the edges, it's good to do it with a paintbrush in case there's any little leaks, any little holes there. And then mark with a chalk, if you're doing, if you've got 1 tin of 5 litres, mark out 5 square metres, and you use that tin in that area. It's so satisfying to apply, whether you do it with a brush or whether you do it with a squeegee, just a really cheap squeegee on the end of a, on a pole or on an old sort of broom handle, and then the job is done. It's got self-leveling properties, so you don't even need to have any talent. It actually flattens out practically by itself. So the job is done as soon as you've applied it. If it starts to rain after you've applied it, it's instantly waterproofed that roof. And not temporary, so you're not putting this on for now and then you're going to get the roofers out. You'll actually realise after a year, 2 years, 3 years,
Still working.
it can last 10 years or more, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
And it looks great on whatever surface you use it on as well. When we talk about surfaces, multi-surfaces, so it's not just your felt as we're seeing
No,
here.
wood, metal, galvanised metal, fiberglass, plastic, acrylic, PVC, all your tiles, your guttering as well, cast iron, copper, concrete, the felt roof, lead. We've even waterproofed cardboard in the show, which sounds ridiculous. I know that's not a building material, but cardboard's horrendous when it's wet. It's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely brilliant for all those different surfaces. Remember, this is ROOFIX M multi-surface. You've got 1 litre, 5 litre or the 20 litre option, all available. If you've got any questions, studio@shopontv.co.uk, or there's a little message box on the website. You drop us any questions and we'll get Martin to
And remember,
answer them for us.
TV exclusive with us. You can't find this in a DIY store. It's a trade paint. And what it's been approved by the Ministry of Defence, by the London Underground. You know, this is a professional trade paint that's been developed so we can use it really easily at home.
But you've got to check out if you've got it in a
we
basket.
haven't had a show since September.
Oh,
I think
my
that's
word.
why we're so busy. If we've got another 3 months till it's back in stock, please, we get the stock when we can, but we don't have this very often because obviously they're so busy doing trade jobs. Please check your basket out and do not miss out whilst the stock is there.
Do check everything out, but take a look how instantly this solves the problem for you. You just slap it on, as Martin says. That's the technical expression. And the great thing is, if it is split felt like here, you can also use it as an adhesive to stick it down before you apply the actual ROOFIX. And then as simple as this, you just spread it out and it fixes that problem in an instant.
And when we
straight
filmed
away.
this, we actually did it very much the speed you're seeing it. The water was poured on it after it had just been applied. The leak's gone. And it's fixed that leak where it's dripping all over your new lawnmower, the kids' bikes. Perhaps it's your roof and you've got paperwork in the roof that it's destroying. That problem has been solved. And not just for now, for 10 years or more. For anyone that's just joined us thinking, oh, hang on, I bought a black paint from a DIY store and I tried to solve a leak with it and it didn't work. This isn't what ROOFIX is. You can't buy it in a DIY store, can you?
No, it's a bit of a trade secret, really.
Yeah.
It's really clever technology. We've got a thermoacrylic resin. Now, what that means is when it gets hot and cold, it reacts with the temperature change. That's just not while it's in a liquid form. It's also after it's been applied. It can be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Wow.
It will be affected by temperature. The beauty of that then is that when all your building materials go cold and they all shrink in, the ROOFIX does the same. But the more important thing is that when it gets hot and it all swells up and expands, and they expand at different rates, because, for example, concrete, timber and metal would all have what's called differential expansion. You know, if we put it under a microscope, it would look like the wood does that and the metal does that. And
Right.
the concrete.
Different,
So they're all
right.
different, and that's where you get the cracks in the joints of where these building materials interact with each other. So what we've got here, this will go over all of those different materials, and then when it gets warm and the whole thing expands up, this is almost like a plastic bag. It just turns into, you can move it like this. It's really flexible. We can stretch it. And you won't see the movement in the building, but it's there, and this will move a lot more than you'd ever think. If I just showed this example.
That's why it's not a temporary fix and it can last
So,
10 years or
I
more.
mean, your roof is never going to do this, is it?
Look at
Let's hope not.
No.
You're basically folding it in half, and that's paint on a piece
And
of
it's
plastic.
not cracking or flaking
So
away.
we've got a difficult surface to get adhesion on, but look how flexible that is. And imagine it doesn't matter when it moves like that, look, see?
So all that weather that does
brilliant.
make your properties move, that's how the cracks appear. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's hot, cold, you know, winter, summer, whatever's going on, that's working with the product it's on and with the weather temperature.
And a lot of people say to me, I've tried paint before, it doesn't work. So what I'd say is get your paint out the garage, put it on something flexible like this, and then see if you
See
can
if it does that, yeah.
You know, and this isn't brand new, you know, it was painted quite a while ago, and I know it's designed to be flexible, and if this gets cold, it'll all tighten up, and if it gets warm, it gets even more flexible.
Brilliant.
And ROOFIX, it's not a regular paint. This is, like you say, it's an acrylic resin. But could you show us the difference? Because if you have bought a black paint in the past and you think, well, now I'm sure it looks the same, wait till you see visually the difference, but wait till you see the difference it makes if you have got a leak. Because a lot of people will have gone to a DIY store, said, I've got a leak, can you solve the problem? And they'll say, well, yeah, take the bitumen.
Yeah, look, bitumen is a very good waterproofing paint, but to me, tar and bitumen-based paints, they have limited flexibility, they have limited structure, they don't have Draylon fibre reinforcement in them. The Draylon fibre reinforcement is critical to how it fills and bridges all of the gaps. What I'm going to show is, imagine you've got one little hole in your roof.
Yep.
You've painted the whole roof, but you've got a hole just that big, you know, that tiny little hole.
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll get the competitor's material, so a standard bitumen paint, could be tar, bitumen. There's a lot of variants of these types of products. So what we're going to do is put quite a lot into this funnel. Imagine you're painting it on. Now I'd imagine I can't
Oh my
see.
word.
Oh, dear.
Oh no, it's definitely dripping.
It's running straight through, yeah.
though it's got waterproofing properties, that isn't sealing the hole. It's not stopping the leak.
And we can get thicker versions of this, but it still does the same because it doesn't have the jelly-like consistency that we have in the ROOFIX. Just going to dry that brush a little bit because I want to show, firstly, look at this in the tin. Can we see how that...
You can yes.
Yeah. I always think it's like dragging a liquid curtain up, you know, it's held together by the fabric.
Yeah.
And the fabric is critical. It's got to be the right strength, the right size. It's literally computer controlled. So what I'm going to do now is take quite a bit of that.
The difference is huge, isn't it? You can virtually see...
I suppose I should put a funnel there.
Yeah, though you could seal the leak that's in there, but that's for the demonstration.
Yeah. Right. Now what will happen, it will go down the funnel and then it will lock itself at a certain point and it doesn't carry on through. So
it has, it's sealed the hole, it stopped the leak.
It stops, doesn't it? Yeah.
And if it rained right now, that leak's gone.
It is, yeah, and that's strong enough that it won't be pushed into the surface because of the way these fibres lock into themselves. So I'll just show you the fibre reinforcement that's inside the product.
This is the secret.
This is the difference.
Yeah. So as well as the thermoacrylic resin, we also have Draylon fibre reinforcement. And as I said before, there is a commercial way of doing this, an industrial way, the skilled people, where they melt tar bitumen on the surface.
Yes.
They lay out fibres that are ready-made in sheets, and then they have to come back again and melt some more on. What we've got here is built into the paint are these fibre reinforcement particles. They're really specific in size and strength. They're very strong. And what will happen, these will all join together and they will almost make like a spider's web.
Yeah, weave
They will
together.
all cross-weave. But you don't have to think about this. All you do is open a tin of paint, slap it on, and you're putting on instant waterproofing, fibre reinforcement. And a lot of people say, oh, I did this and it saved me thousands of pounds. I'll get the roof done in a year or two's time. And then 8, 9, 10 years later, like, oh, I didn't need to get the roof done. Because it's not just a temporary solution. It is designed to last 10 years, and we do know places where it's lasted longer.
Approved by the Ministry of Defence, the London Underground. You've just seen it working on guttering there, and whatever that guttering may be, it might be cast iron or copper or concrete, it works. It seals that leak, it stops that leak instantly. And all you need to do is make sure if there's any debris, some leaves in there, take the leaves out. Doesn't matter if it's wet, just slap it on, and even if it rains straight away, instantly the leak's gone. It's waterproof, it's sealed, and it can last 10 years or more.
And remember, if you are looking around, this is ROOFIX M.
Yeah.
It's very important, multi-surface. It's flying in the 20-litre configuration. If you do want to message in, we'd love to hear from you. Studio at Shop on TV, or we've got a little message box on the website. Colin said, use ROOFIX on my garage roof and my shed, stopped both from leaking. Saved me a fortune. As they say, it does what it says on the tin. That's brilliant, isn't it? Thank you, Colin. Brilliant.
And we get constant 5-star reviews like that, and so
there's a lot of them.
So many.
But also my industrial customers who they have a property, for example. I always remember a guy had a shop in London, and he got a quote to get it done. It was over £10,000.
The roof.
Yes. So he bought about I think it was about 30 tins of ROOFIX. And he got his staff to go up and slap it on. And he was so over the moon that it never leaked. Literally the next day, he gave them all days off.
Brilliant. I love it.
Like it.
Because it saved so much money.
Absolutely.
And they were happy because they're in the sunshine, slapping on paint. And, you know, I think they took the time a bit because really it's a 1-hour job. But for some reason, they took all day.
And then they got a day off as well. It was great.
And then they got 3 days off. It saved so much money.
Brilliant. And the great thing is, whatever building material it's going to work on. And this is really nice because you're seeing the difference with bitumen, which you can buy here, there and everywhere. And then the difference with our flag paint, our trade paint. So the bitumen, you can still actually see the gap's still there.
Big gap there still, yeah.
And that's what you can buy in the DIY stores. But actually, the gap's gone here.
And we can see the Draylon fibre at the front.
You can, yes.
And that's what you need to see. It's really clever that it sits in the middle, in the front of the coating. So it's almost like you have put the resin with a blanket of fibre, but the fibre sits in just the right place. And you don't have to think about it. You just slap on a coat of paint. And as you're painting, it's almost like you're putting 2 different products on, all blended together.
And you've adapted the ROOFIX M, which is exclusive with us here on Shop on TV. So it's easy to use. It's not like your trade paints where
And the instructions, even the instructions, it's sort of anyone just follow the instructions and they're not complicated and it works, you know. 1 litre, 1 square metre. I often say to people, don't forget 4 by 5 litres is 20 litres. Your typical single garage roof is 15 to 18 square metres.
Right.
So please don't put 20 litres on. If it's 15 square metres, use 3 of the tins. You've got a spare one.
Got a spare,
to help somebody
How
else.
great is that?
To paint your shed or do another job with
Be
it.
there for that emergency, or perhaps a neighbour suddenly says, "Oh, I've got a leak. I've got the the problem-solving product." And this is how we apply it. If there's any debris, we do need to just get rid of that, don't we?
We do. I mean, it's good painting practice. You don't want to paint on top of loose dirt because at the end of the day, you're not touching the surface. You're just painting onto muck. So what we do, we spend a bit of time going around the edges by brush, because often you get a leak in the edge and then it will actually come somewhere else inside the roof. When we come to do the main area, it gets even quicker and simpler. We can either do it by brush or we can do it by the squeegee that we saw before. It's a really quick, simple application. I can do a roof in about 20 minutes.
And it's satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's satisfying because you've done it yourself. You put the ladder up once, you clean the dirt away, you pour it out and slap it on. As long as you put 1 litre onto 1 square metre, it doesn't matter whether it's concrete, whether it's metal, whether it's corrugated,
Can't go wrong.
whatever it might be. And then when you've got a little piece of plastic, you might have a plastic portal, a window, you might have where it joins onto the conservatory and there's a bit of a leak.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
not sure whether it's the roof or the conservatory. The beauty of this is, if you can put paint on a brush, I always think it's easier than buttering bread. You know, you just slap it on.
And you
can
don't need to
pour
be a
it out and slap
painter.
it on.
If you're a painter, you take too long. It's just quick, it's easy. And the great thing is, if it is a bay window, if it's a conservatory roof, and you're thinking, well, actually, my conservatory's white, my bay window's white, you have at the minute got colour options as well to go with your home. The black is the busiest, and the stock of that depleting really, really quickly. Half the stock of the 4 5-litre tins has already sold out and gone. The grey is great because a lot of the new buildings have got grey windows and have got that look, haven't they?
But I also think if you just want your shed to look a bit more modern,
A bit more
Yeah,
contemporary.
it
yeah.
doesn't have to be black. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of grey is a bit of an in colour now,
Yeah.
isn't it? And if your garden's painted with lots of different shades of grey, why not have a grey roof? Because it works in exactly the same way. Tar and bitumen paints can't do this because you can't make a bitumen paint go white. Because by nature it's tar based. You think
So,
what
yes.
tar looks like, it's gloopy black stuff,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what it's made from.
So you have got the white option there as well, and the white in some of the sizes, and we're really low in stock in that white and that black, so please do check your baskets through as soon as you've decided which size option to go for. But remember, the more you buy, the bigger the saving. If you're going for the details on your screen, you get a tin completely free of charge. And we haven't seen this yet. This is brilliant.
So we showed the funnel with
Yeah.
1 hole. Well, imagine
A sieve.
a sieve with lots of little holes.
Lots and lots of holes.
So we did try and paint a sieve, but basically
So you've painted that with bitumen, which is what you can get from the DIY stores.
You haven't
can see,
filled any holes
No,
there.
you
it
can see
was
a little
quite
bit
funny
of
because
black
it was
there.
like an endless job. We just put paint and go.
Pouring
And in the end, I thought, well, that's all
That'll
that's
do.
gonna
That's the
happen,
best
yeah.
it's going to be.
So the same type of sieve you see with ROOFIX
Look at
is
that.
now like a spoon. You know,
It's
it's filled
literally-
every
yeah.
single little
And that's your
tiny hole.
Draylon fibres. They've all weaved together, and it's sealed every
And they are the
hole.
tiniest of holes there, aren't they? So it's filled all of those holes completely. So I love how you explain it when you say it bridges the gap. It's bridged all those gaps.
I mean, I can show you in here, trying to touch it in a way
Yeah.
I don't get. Right, let's put that out here. I'm determined not to get paint on my
Yeah,
paint.
You're
you
doing
are,
a
you're
good
doing it,
job.
you
You've
are.
been very, very delicate.
Not like you.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
oh
See
no.
what I mean?
That. Oh
Now
my
you've
word.
made a
Yeah.
mess.
No. So you've even
no.
applied more
And
of
if
the
you,
bitumen.
if you leave that, it will just drip through. It looks like, oh, it's going to work, it's going to work.
We can look at it
Right,
again later,
but
can't we? But yeah.
It just drips through. And they're tiny little holes. I mean,
Yeah.
sieves are, by nature, you know, this is the
The
thing
water's
you'd
it's
use
meant to go
sieve
through.
flour.
Yeah.
What it's
that's
supposed
it, yeah,
to do,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
So that's not solved the problem.
good.
But this now is more like a spoon,
Yeah.
because now you could put water in that, and that could be.
It's totally waterproof, you know, it's...
Shall we?
Shall we?
Oh,
Go on.
this is a big...
I'll put it over Martin's head again.
There we go, yeah. Balance it over his head. There we go. Look at that. Bath made for one. Look at that. That's a dream. You
Look
can
at
see.
that.
Now, if you hold it over Sean's head,
She can't reach. She can't reach, unfortunately.
Oh, I can while you're down there. I mean, how brilliant is that? So all of a sudden, even the tiniest of leaks, problem solved. And that problem solved, not just temporary, that will stay like that for 10 years or more.
yes. And it doesn't matter what the surface is. It doesn't matter whether it's metal, plastic, even glass.
All building materials.
Yeah, virtually anything you'll find at the top of your...
You've actually waterproofed cardboard.
We have.
And cardboard's horrendous when it's wet. It does dissolve. That's what our producers just said. It does exactly that. You know, when you carry a cardboard drinks carrier, if it gets wet, or if one of the bottles breaks accidentally and it wets it up, they're gone.
It just goes. It's what
you
you
said,
said
yeah.
about paper bags.
I mean,
so
it's designed to be recyclable, so it wants to break down very easily with a drop of water.
Of course, yeah.
But what we wanted to show is if we can waterproof cardboard, surely then you've got confidence that you can waterproof anything.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, any paint will waterproof, but here's the proof that we've painted a cardboard box with a bitumen paint, just like we painted the sieve. Well, I can do it just a tiny amount of water, this water from here.
Oh, there it goes. It's all gone.
Because we've got the joints and the holes the way the cardboard's built up. So the main area, it's not coming through on this bit. We can actually see that is waterproof. But every joint and gap,
so wherever there's a bit of a gap, it will come through, because it won't seal that hole.
And what we need is the Draylon fibre reinforcement and the gloopiness, if you like, of the thermoacrylic resin, which is like, it's what we call an amorphous resin. It's like a jelly. So it's a liquid jelly. To me, it's easier than spreading butter on toast, you know. It just flows out.
And that's your ROOFIX. So that's your bitumen that you can buy from a DIY store. This is the ROOFIX box, which upstairs are like, I love the fact that he's actually dripped the leak into the ROOFIX box.
Saving water and all that.
It's not going to leak.
Because we know this isn't going to leak. So this is exactly the same style of box with the same holes underneath.
This box is 15 years old. It's been used for demonstrations months at a time. We've had it on a counter filled with water, with ducks and all sorts of things.
In a cardboard box. All that water.
So for 15 years, this has stayed waterproof, and like you say, for days on end,
and I'm pretty
it's
sure
full of water.
One of your old presenters sat on this. So it's quite strong. We've got quite a lot of water in there. Let's put that down there. Put the ducks in.
Look at
The
that.
ducks are drunk tonight.
They are a little, bless them.
But
again,
I know
no
this
leaks.
will never leak. I'm so confident. And people that say, oh, I've used paint
You can put it
before.
over my head.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I? I'm not that.
I trust, because it won't leak, look.
Look at that. She's still happy.
But I mean, I know your house isn't going to be made of cardboard, but this will actually go onto any building material, and then we're proving that with using the cardboard. Actually, your niece really proved it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she actually, they had a competition at school, didn't they, to make a boat out of cardboard.
Yes. So this is Emma. And
Bit of a
she
dangerous
basically-
competition.
Yeah, it was called the cardboard boat
They are
competition.
sinking at the back there.
Yeah. And people tried it with gaffer tape and all sorts of things. People were putting plastic inside, but the thing is,
Right.
you basically go into sea in a plastic bag, and the cardboard instantly goes to mush.
Right,
so you
and
just
you're
sat
in
in the
the
bag.
sea in a bag, you know. Whereas that there, she was actually paddling away, and it was only towards the end that she'd paddled so much she'd splashed water inside. She won the best design, but I think somebody else did manage. I think they were second place, so somebody got first.
I mean that is fabulous, isn't it? A cardboard boat, and it's floating in water. It's cardboard, but because it's got ROOFIX on, now it's waterproof, which is fantastic.
And it's so funny that my brother-in-law went, I know what's going to win, you know.
I love it.
It's just that extreme demonstration to show you how good ROOFIX is, how it can waterproof all of those different surfaces we've talked about. And when we talk about surfaces for roofs, it's not just roofs, it's all your different types of gutters as well.
Well, it's any building material, so wherever you've got that leak, it could be a collection of different materials and you don't know where the leak is, you can just use it on everything, can't you?
Yes, yeah, it's designed for use on virtually any building material, and also the location. It doesn't matter whether it's the bay window, the valleys, the gutters, the shed roof, the garage roof, the outhouse, the lean-to, the conservatory, or the main roof. Anywhere it's leaking, if you can get there just once, slap on a coat of ROOFIX, instant repair.
It is absolutely amazing. My mum, and that's exactly where the leak was as it joined the house, she had a glass area that went to a laundry room outside and it had leaked for years. She actually put the pots where she knew that it was going to leak.
We'd come in a rainy day.
There'd be loads of them and save it to water the plant. She would do exactly that.
Yeah, she wouldn't.
And we had about 3 people out to look at it. We chose someone to do the job. They took the whole roof off, which was a nightmare, and the weather was atrocious. Then they put a new roof on and it still leaked. And it was the joining to the house. And I spoke to you about it because I hadn't done ROOFIX while we had all that job done, obviously. And then we did ROOFIX and I was like, do you think it would work? And you're like, I'd take this pot. And you gave me a pot of white because it was a white roof. Went and just painted the area where it was worse, and it stopped all the leaks because that leak was creating everything else.
Yeah.
And we solved the problem.
Well, one of our grandparents had the same issue, but they tried with all these caulking fillers, you know, the tubes where you get the thing
Yes, my brother had tried that,
It's really difficult to know where to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Because you think there's a joint there where it goes into the brickwork, then there's a joint, you know, where it joins onto... so you're going along, like, you know, using quite a lot of this material, and it's quite expensive for such a little tube.
Yeah.
Whereas this, the beauty is that you just slap on a coat of paint and you can paint up the wall a little bit. You can go 2 bricks high if you want.
Job done.
Yeah,
And it's
really
not
easy.
temporary. It lasts for 10 years or more, which is incredible. We're busy on every side. A vast amount of the stock now sold out and gone. You do need to check your baskets through. And whilst you are checking out, and the best thing is right now to check out, we've got lots for you to look at.
Yeah, take a little look at our social media. You can follow us on so many different platforms, and here's what it's all about.
Keep up to date with all the latest news, information and special offers from Shop on TV by following us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok and YouTube. You'll find us at Shop on TV Live. Be a part of our fun community at Shop on TV.
A little community, and it's really great to have your company every single day, however you want to watch us. Of course, we're at live every single night from around about midnight until 3 a.m. on ITV1 and STV, but we've got a Freeview Channel as well.
Yeah, Freeview Channel 89. You can watch us all throughout the day as well.
Amazing. And we've got great products all the time, and this is a product that, oh my goodness, didn't we just run out of this?
Did we need this yesterday? Yes,
we had to go and buy it from the supermarket because the weather's been terrible, hasn't it? And so you know how dirty your car is at the minute. That's on your windscreen. And how often are you using the wipers? And how quickly is it saying, empty, the water's empty, you need to put some more
Screen
in.
wash is so important at this time of year, but this is what you're getting. It's a little bit unusual. This tube has 12 tablets in, and each tablet will make 5 litres of screen wash for you. You can use it all year round. It goes down to temperatures of -3, and you literally pop in a tablet, add 5 litres of warm water, and you've got 5 litres of screen wash ready to go.
And that's the job done. So that could be in your glove compartment. So you've always got it. You haven't got to dash to the shop or go and try and find somewhere. And all you need then is some water from a tap, and the job is done. You actually get the 5 litre bottle as well, which you just keep refilling, and you're not throwing it away all the time.
So again, it's great for the environment.
It's
got a fabulous general dirt ingredient in there, but it's also great for the bugs. You know, when the bugs are on the windscreen and they get moulded on, don't they?
They get welded on, don't they? And nothing seems to move them. You're going to absolutely love this. If you've got a vehicle, perhaps someone's just passed a test, it's a great gift idea. Perhaps someone's just bought a car, really nice present idea. And it's so important to have a clear screen. Sometimes we leave it, don't we? And we leave it and I can sort of see. But then as soon as it's night and the lights hit your windscreen, if it's dirty, you're blinded.
Terrible.
It's so important to make sure your windscreen's clear.
And remember, this will make up to 60 litres of screen wash for $19.99.
So 12 lots.
12
lots.
12 times.
So how much was the last 5-litre bottle that you bought? Times that by 12. Was that anywhere near $19.99? I don't think so. So this is, to give you a sort of idea, so for a 5-litre screen wash, average sort of price, Asda $3.50. Obviously, this is ready-made. It comes in the plastic bottle. Then you've got the Motor World there at $4.49, Morrison's and Tesco's at $4.50, Halfords at $4.99. Ours works out, and all you've got to do is add the water to it, at $1.66 per 5 litres. So the same as that. I mean, that's crazy,
that's brilliant,
isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant.
And the fact that you can have those tablets in the glove box, have the bottle in the boot, whenever you run out, you've always got it. We were late for work yesterday. We're running around trying to find screen wash.
And we didn't want to get on the motorway because we knew if we went to the services, it would be so expensive. So we were driving around trying to find a supermarket that might have some. Whereas that is in your glove compartment, wherever you are, job done. And you've got the solution.
Item number 225612, a great way to keep your screen nice and clean.
We needed it yesterday. It's brand new today. Just how lucky. Just how lucky I am.
All about timing.
Please do check your baskets out because you've got it right now. And of course, you can split that cost with PayPal Pay in 3 if you're buying other items and you're spending over £30. So do check out, of course, our flag paint products. We've got our amazing ROOFIX M, massively busy on that. Vast amount of stock sold out and gone. It does what it says on the tin. This fixes your roof. This fixes leaks, not just in roofs, bay windows, conservatories.
Lean-tos, sheds, things such as that. It's not just roofs,
guttering.
It's guttering, porches it could be, conservatories and summer houses.
It works on any building material.
Yeah.
Any building material. So I guess that could be even like a caravan roof, because all those different
stable
materials,
boxes.
Doesn't have to be a house even, does it? It's going to work on all and everything, trailers and things such as that. So there's your leak. So all you need to do, it doesn't need to be bone dry, but if there's any debris, just brush it away. And because it works a little bit like an adhesive, you can stick it underneath as well. And then, oh, I love this. Get a squeegee. You can use a paintbrush. It's so satisfying. It self-levels. It sort of levels itself out. And we actually put that water on virtually as soon as we'd put the squeegee over, and it's instantly waterproof. So even if you've applied it and then you look at the sky
it goes black,
and the heavens open,
it's okay.
It's not the end of the world. You've solved the leak instantly, and it's not temporary.
That's the other thing that's really important. It's not a temporary fix.
No.
It's going to last for 10 years and beyond. We've got some great deals available. We've got a 1 litre, a 5 litre and a 20 litre configuration where it's the biggest saving of all. But not just roofs, like we said, for guttering, and not just for PVC guttering. This was the thing that blew me away. Yeah,
copper.
Concrete.
Yeah.
It's
amazing. Again, if there's any sort of leaves in there, take the leaves away. It doesn't need to be dry. You slap it on there just with a paintbrush. And again, we put the water in straight away. That leak, and that was quite a split, completely gone. If you have got splits like that in your guttering, the water's gushing down your house. Perhaps it wakes you at night. You can hear it gushing back, by your window. And you think, oh my God, now that's ruined my bricks on my house. That is the problem solved. You haven't got to replace all that guttering. You just need to get up there once, apply your ROOFIX, and it can last for 10 years or more. It's phenomenal.
And the application is really simple. You don't need to have any DIY skills. You literally just slap it on and spread it out. Remember, 1 square metre is 1 litre coverage. So the 1 litre tin will give you 1 square metre of coverage, and so on and so forth, up to the 20 square metres that you see on your screen. You've got 3 colours. You've got black, grey and white. We're just showing you how easy the application is. I just want to share this review with you. This product saved me £1,880 on a new roof. My extension was found to be leaking very badly. I called out a roofer to tell me how much much it had cost to put it right. When he told me, I could have fainted. He said the whole roof had had its time and needed replacing. I saw this offer on TV and ordered some. It was easy to administer and hey presto, it worked. The headline, this product saved me £1,880.
And we see so many 5-star reviews like that. I mean, so many people saying it's the best thing ever. Great item, brilliant product, a super sealant, very good. It does what it says on the tin. Fantastic product, brilliant and so easy to use. This is perfect for what I needed. And it is so easy to apply. If you want to mark out the 5 square metres per tin, you can. It self-levels, so you don't have, you virtually can see it working. And those Draylon fibres weaving together, they're the secret. This isn't anything you can buy in a DIY store. This isn't a bitumen. This is a trade paint that's been developed for us here on Shop on TV. ROOFIX M will go on any building material. We've actually waterproofed cardboard just to show you how amazing it is. It looks fantastic, but obviously it's not about looks, but it looks really smart. It's about results. And that roof now, there are no leaks. Instantly, any leaks had gone, even if it rained straight away. But the biggest thing is, it's not just for now, and then you get the builders out, then you get the roofers out, and they do the job properly. That's the job done properly, and that can last for 10 years or more.
How brilliant is that?
People
now,
save a fortune.
If you do want to go for it, some of the colours have absolutely flown in some of the
Yes.
configurations. So if you've got anything in a basket, do check your basket out and confirm your order. We've got another live hour right through till 3
And
a.m.
remember, different colours, because you might be thinking, well, actually, it's my white bay window that's leaking. You might be thinking, oh, it's the conservatory roof that's got a leak. And of course, that's white. Or perhaps you want to, everything to look a little bit more modern. There's a grey option, which will look great on the roof of your shed or your garage. What you've got to do is just check your baskets out, whatever colour option you want. The black is the busiest. It always is. So please do check your baskets out, whatever colour option you want, because it's only now as long as stock is available. Check it all out on the website. We've got more people, I think, ordering now than what we've already sold stock-wise. So please, we're just getting busier and busier and busier. It's 2:05. We've got another hour left, but have we got an hour's worth of stock in all the actual sizes? You've got that 1 litre, a 5 litre that you're looking at right now, and you've got 4 5 litres. And we were talking about colour options. We'll show you those colour options right now, so you can actually see, there's your black. There's your, oh, you're a lovely assistant. There's your grey, and there is your white option. But remember, in some of the options, half the stock has gone in that black. In most sizes, I think, actually, all the blacks, in all sizes,
in all configurations,
50% has gone, but so much more in baskets. You do need to check those baskets through.
Now, Martin joins us from Flag Paints.
Which has been going for a long time, hasn't it, Flag
Since
Paints?
1939.
Wow, so you haven't been there all the time?
No, not quite. Nearly.
Bless you. And you make specialised paints for trade, don't you?
We do, yes.
So approved by the Ministry of Defence?
Yeah, it was one of our first clients, really.
Wow.
And it's still approved by the MOD.
London Underground?
And it was only a few years ago they saw it on shopping TV.
Oh, really?
And said, oh, we got a job for that. And they
Great
bought some.
stuff.
It's really nice that they see the demonstration and instantly think, I know where I can use that. So it's not just... there's a lot of viewers as well that have a business. And like, I know people that they own a pub, they own they run a school, and they've got an office block, and they think, they've had this problem for a long time, and they see this, they see the demonstration, they get to trust it because it's not like a normal paint. And they've bought it, and I love all the thank you very much. I didn't think a coat of paint could solve my leaking
actually,
roof.
an animal charity has emailed in tonight, and they were wondering about using it on their felt roofs, over the kennels and things.
Yes, yeah, it's been used on lots of kennels and chicken coops and things like that. So it's
because on any building material this will work.
Well, you must be psychic, because you were talking about all these building materials. I was going to say raw materials, all these building materials, and I was thinking, yeah, but it's also caravans. And then you went, also caravans.
You sent it.
Yeah, because we do know people have used it on storage containers, caravans, boats, and horse boxes. Yeah, and even people that have the businesses, like the little takeaway cafes.
Yes, because they can be old horse boxes and things, can't they? Yeah.
And it'll solve the leak on any roof. It doesn't matter whether it's a mobile home.
A moving roof.
And instantly, it solves the leak. And it's not temporary, is it? We're not solving the leak for just now and then we get someone else out.
The official line is it's designed to last for 10 years.
Wow.
And this is what the resin manufacturer tells us. But we've done a lot of tests on this. It's been in what's called accelerated weather testing. But also we've had it in places where actual buildings have been painted for 12 or 14 years and never leaked since. So the only guideline here is you get off anything that's loose and flaking and dirty. And then you paint on the surface, and it's 1 litre, 1 square metre. So a typical single garage roof is 15 to 18 square metres. So the 4x5 litre, that's the best value. It's the keenest price. That will give you enough to do 20 square metres, but you don't have to use the 20. If you've got 15 square metres, then you only need 3 tins.
And then if you do have that leak that one day and panic, where's the ROOFIX? You've got some left over. And it lasts really well, doesn't it, as long as you keep the tin.
It does. I mean, it's designed to last for many, many years. It's as long as you don't let the tin go rusty, the item inside it, as long as you don't let air get to it, you don't leave the lid off it, it will last for
to seal it, put it in the shed,
5 years more,
which is brilliant. And all flat roofs, and then we've talked about different tiles, and we've talked about guttering and things such as that.
I mean, you talked about guttering. Well, at our warehouse, we have where the old building joins the new. We've got concrete, metal and plastic guttering, but the guttering is about this wide.
Oh, gosh.
Right? It's like a big tray. And we got a specialist company in, and he said, oh, no, we do this all the time. We're going to put fiberglass in it. And we said, no, we've got our own product. He goes, no, it's fiberglass. It only takes 3 days.
Oh,
we've got ROOFIX. It takes about 20 minutes.
No.
So it took them longer to clean out the mess off the guttering.
Right.
And then you just pour the ROOFIX in and slap it around.
And you just saw that. And instantly, when we filmed that clip, instantly you pour water on it and straight away the leak's gone.
The cameraman was funny. He said, so how long do I have to wait now? He goes, no, just keep filming.
Don't stop.
He
Keep
literally
going.
thought we'd have to sit and have a sandwich for
wait for it to dry, and then eventually, instantly, the leak has gone, and that can last for 10 years or more.
Very different to a bitumen if people have used bitumen.
Yeah, because I think some people at home will think, well, I bought a black paint from a DIY store. They said it was waterproof, and it didn't work for us. You can't buy this in a DIY store, can you?
No, I mean, we've even said to the big DIY chains, you know, why don't you stock something like this? We could do an own brand one. Or, oh, it's too specialist.
How bizarre.
But you want to solve somebody's leak, and this is the thing to do it.
And why does it work? Why does your regular bitumen, though it's got waterproofing properties, don't get me wrong, it doesn't seal a leak, but ROOFIX does?
You remember we painted...
oh, gosh.
This. So we poured bitumen paint into
just a moment ago.
Yeah.
There's not much coverage there, is there?
Where's the thing? That way. Which way?
Yeah, that's fine. There you go. See it. That's spot on.
Right. So it just runs straight through the sieve because it doesn't have the structure, the strength and the resin. You don't have the fibre reinforcement.
Which we'll show you. That's the secret.
So the fibre reinforcement are these items here.
Right.
The Draylon fibres.
So this is what's in your flag paints and your ROOFIX.
And we often get people trying to sell us alternatives to this, but we stick with this one. It's one of the most expensive, but it's also one of the strongest. It's computer controlled. It's literally down to the micron of the thickness, the length, because if you get it wrong, people have tried to copy this product. Somebody sent us a sample tin once and had a giant golf ball in it.
Oh, don't
and it was just this fibre that didn't flow through the product right, because if you don't have the right resin, if you don't have the right viscosity, and you don't have the right fibre,
thickness and length,
and even if you get the wrong quantity, they think I'll put more fibre in, but you know, it's all in the recipe, isn't it? And this is a really clever recipe, tried and tested. So these little fibre items here that don't look much, they're really strong. And what happens? They actually knit together and they make a fibre, a weave throughout the paint. So all you do is open a tin of paint, slap it on, and if we look at that grey sample there, this is one of my favourite demos because what we've got on the front, we can actually see the fibre reinforcement. You can see the fibre built in there, and don't forget, I just showed you little bits of fluff, and there they are now, looking like...
yeah, you can see them, and they've all, and you can see they have all weaved.
All joined together.
So if there was any hole there, they just sealed the hole.
Exactly.
Filled it in,
And we've bridged all of the gaps.
Yeah.
But also we've got the flexibility. You know, your roof your roof isn't going to do this, but just imagine, look how flexible.
And that's why we can say it can last 10 years or more. Because the truth is, the reason we get leaks is all our building materials with the weather, and my goodness, don't we have a mixture of weather in a day at times? Your buildings can expand and contract, don't they?
Yeah.
Time and time again, with it being hot, with it being cold. So you'd think if you did use a product like this, as soon as it went really cold again or it went really hot again, that leak's going to come back. But because it does what you just did.
And we've got something called thermoacrylic resin in this, and it reactivates with hot and cold. When it gets cold, it traps itself down.
Wow.
It actually gets tighter because there's every chance that the surface it's on is shrinking a little bit.
Okay.
And then when it gets warm, it almost fluffs up, it absorbs,
Wow.
it expands. So it's designed to do that. And it does turn, when we've had this out in the summer doing demonstrations, you can get it like a plastic bag, you know, it's so
Really
flexible.
stretchy, yeah.
But the beauty of that is you can have a bad joint underneath somewhere and it's not been built very well. You don't have to rip everything off and fix it because this will not quite float over, but it bridges the gap.
Yeah.
And a variety of surfaces. That's the great thing.
So they
It
can have
works
got,
differently on
yeah,
different
one
surfaces.
surface going onto another surface. It's going to work on them all.
Yeah, and often it's where the surfaces join that's where
Yeah.
it cracks. And sometimes
Absolutely.
you can't see it. Often you go up when the weather's good and it might be a hot sunny day and everything's swollen, if you like.
Yeah.
Right? So then when it gets cold again, like, there's a crack, but you didn't see the crack because something's moved, you know. So different weather conditions show different different voids, if you like.
Right, and they're just showing some of the different materials that you can use it on. Compared, if you see this paint on the outside, this is a bitumen paint, but you'll see it doesn't bridge the gap.
Bitumen
like
you can buy from the DIY store. It's got waterproofing properties, but it can't. Can you see that the split is still there? But that split stops when we get to the ROOFIX. The ROOFIX has bridged the gap. It has sealed the gap, and that's on whatever material. And we've got, you know, we've got a tile there. You've got the felting. We've got all and wood as well, so we can use this onto wood, which you wouldn't think it would work on, but it does.
It does, yeah. Virtually any building material, so plastics, even glass. Somebody had a glass. It was like a reinforced glass portal to let some light in.
Oh, right.
And it was going to cost over £1,000 to replace. So instead, they just painted it.
Don't.
They just because it was quite badly broken. And now when you look up, OK, you don't get the light coming through, but they weren't bothered because it's an industrial unit. They've got lots of lights inside. And now it looks like a black panel because they just painted it with ROOFIX.
Great.
It is amazing.
Stop the problem.
Can you show us again the difference? Because I know some people will be thinking, I know I've definitely used a black paint. I bought it from a DIY store. It didn't work for me. That's your bitumen, which we're going to show you. Should we do are you going to show us with the brush?
So we'll just do a little bit of brushwork on this. So
you see the difference.
I'm just going to pop it over there.
Gosh.
Right, and look, that's a black paint. It's got a little bit of the fibre in from the ROOFIX we did earlier. But you can see how thin that is.
Yeah.
It is a waterproofing paint.
Uh-huh.
But the issue I have, it doesn't have the same structure. It's not amorphous in nature. It's not thermoacrylic resin. It's not like a jelly. You can almost, I mean, there is a blob of ROOFIX on the side of it.
It's a little bit different.
That's not going to bridge the gap or seal any holes, whereas the ROOFIX is such a completely different texture. And the other thing is, with the weather changing and temperatures changing, that will probably start to crack as well because it's got no movement ability for it. Now ROOFIX. He's tried so hard not to get dirty fingers. Only a tiny bit.
Right.
Right. So this is our ROOFIX.
Look at the difference here. I'll pour some out.
Oh my word!
The consistency.
I mean, it doesn't even look like a paint as such, does it? Because it's got a completely different consistency.
It's like melted chocolate or treacle or something, isn't it?
It's a paint chemist's dream in the respect the way we've got this knit together with the resin, and then you can see there. Look at that blob compared to that. But then the beauty of if we're doing a larger area, any cheap household squeegee, and we just start to spread it around. And you can see there's no effort there at all. It just finds its own way and the fibres just knit themselves out. To do this in a commercial way, in a sort of specialist trade way, they would melt tar or bitumen on. then would roll out giant sheets of
Yeah,
fabric.
yeah, I remember them doing it at school and things. Yeah, on roofs.
We can probably
it
all
smelt,
remember.
didn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Horrible.
That tar, like they do on the road surface.
Yeah,
that tar
it did.
bitumen. The issue I have with that is if you've got to melt it to get it pliable enough to go on, then when it dries, it cools down. It's quite brittle.
Yeah.
So with temperature.
Yeah, and often they
change.
didn't have a very good lifespan. You were lucky if you got 5 years from that.
Right.
And bearing in mind, you've had industrial burners up there, you've had skilled workers,
yeah.
you know, you've had a lot of risk assessments done. This here, if you can get up there once, take off the leaves, the dirt, any loose bits of material, like a bit of roofing felt might have come off, just tear it back to a good edge, scrape anything, brush
And we'll
everything
see
away
that,
with
actually,
a broom,
'cause we've got
and
a
then
clip of that.
slap it on.
Yeah, and it's as simple as that. You go, so this is your roof area. Perhaps it's your flat roof over the garage, and you're thinking, what do I do? Tidy it up if you've got any debris.
You can see all the dust that's coming off
Yeah,
there.
get
And these
rid of that.
stones, don't paint on top of stones because they just float on the surface. There's nothing holding them there. Spend the time to go around the edges using the brush because often it leaks on the edge and then it'll drip somewhere else inside the roof. So that complicates everything. Get your squeegee, you can put it on a pole if you want as well, or you can get on your hands and knees with a kneeling pad, or you can brush it. Look how quick and simple it is to flow out. The only guideline is 1 litre goes on 1 square metre. If you're not sure, you can measure the surface. Often people say, well, I don't really know the surface I'm painting, as in the measurements. But don't forget, if you measure the bottom, it's the same at the top. So if you go around your garage with a tape measure, you are measuring the roof just by measuring the walls.
Yeah, of
so
course
you don't have to get on the roof with a tape measure. You just walk around the bottom of the garage and go, this is 5 metres by 2, and I know I have 10 square metres to paint.
Brilliant.
And it's as easy as that. Now, the bundle that is the busiest is what we've got on screen right now. You have got options. Now, this will do that garage roof and give you probably a tin spare. It works out that you get a tin completely free of charge with this because you're saving £60, and a 5 litre tin is normally £60 as our reduced price, I will say, as well. So that option is a definite go for, but if you do want it in the black, a vast amount of that black has sold out and gone. We have got it in the grey and the white option as well. But our other choices...
Well, we've got the 5 litre tin, that's 5 square metres of coverage. Just to give you a rough idea about the average shed roof size there, that's $59.99. 811037 is the item number. You've still got your 3 colours. You've got your black, your grey and your white, and you've got your PayPal. Once again, PayPal paying 3 if you want to spread the cost interest-free, $21.65 on your first of 3 interest-free payments. However, if you know exactly where your leak is, we also have the 1 litre tin available for you. That's 1 square metre. Again, you've got all 3 colours available still at the moment, so black, white or grey. It's a great price of $22.99. 562973 is your item number there for your 1 litre. If you've got a rip like this and that's exactly where the leak is, you know you can go for that 1 litre tin. Take away any excess dirt, like Martin said, wherever you're applying. You can use a bit there as an adhesive to get your felt back down, and then you just go over the top, you slap it on, as simple as that.
And instantly, it's waterproof. We poured that water on virtually straight away. So what you're seeing is live, and it's waterproof. Even if the heavens open, you've solved the problem. The leak has gone, and that can last for 10 years or more. Works on any building materials, and though we 70% of the black in that option has sold out and gone, the more you order, the better the saving. So £22.99 there for 1 litre, but it's only $59.99 for 5 litres. So the more you get, the better the saving.
Even if you know where it is, I'd go for the 5 litre.
Well, sometimes you think you know where the hole is, but actually it can be elsewhere, can't it?
I think if it's in the corner of a roof, you might want to just try 1 litre on the corner first. Then I think you go for the 4x5 litre, because otherwise you're going to buy another 5 litre. It's not economical, is it?
Yeah.
But let's also remind people that this is designed to go on damp surfaces. Now, what I would say with the weather conditions at the moment, frost is not damp. So we avoid putting it on frosty conditions,
right?
Because it will just slide around if you think like we don't want to go ice skating with a coat of ROOFIX.
Yeah.
Right.
So we wait for the frost to go. It doesn't matter then
we're
whether
hoping
the
it's gonna
surface
go
is damp.
soon.
I know it's soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's designed to go on damp surfaces, and we did a lot of work with the manufacturer of the resin to absolutely make sure that it doesn't trap the moisture inside.
So if it's damp,
Part of
it's
its
fine.
process, it will bring the moisture through the coating.
That's so clever.
If you want to be really boring, you can sit and watch it. You will literally see bubbles of droplets of water coming through.
So if you've got an area that does tend to hold the water, you can still apply it there, get the water away, paint it on.
Yeah, because what you often get is that dip, and it just never ever dries. Even even in the beginning of summer, you've still got this damp patch in the middle of your roof. So what we say is, as long as it's not a lake, you know, it doesn't matter that it's a little bit wet. It's designed to cope with that. This is really clever technology. I mean, if you put tar or bitumen on top of a damp surface, the tar or bitumen will dry, and underneath it will be a layer of moisture.
Yeah.
And then what happens is the sun comes down, and what happens to water when it gets heated? It almost wants to go into steam.
Yeah.
You know, so you get these bubbles where that little drop of water grows into a bubble because it expands and it's got nowhere to go. Whereas we don't trap water with this. You can go on the damp surface, but as it dries, it doesn't dry instantly, but it doesn't matter. It's still instantly waterproof. And it's designed to be, just take a little bit longer to dry, because then it brings the moisture through.
Draws it out.
It's so clever. It's been designed for us. You don't need to be a DIYer. This is a trade paint that's been developed, so it's so easy to apply. It does all the hard work. Just read the instructions. It's so, you don't need to be a painter of any sort. You virtually just slap it on. But the really nice thing is, whether it is a whole garage roof or whether it's actually your bay window and you've had a leak there for years and it's driven you mad, or whether it's your conservatory roof, and again you've got this annoying, and whatever option you need, order it. So if your conservatory is white, go for the white option. So if you're watching thinking, well, it's only in black, so I can't, on the conservatory, it's not going to look great. On bay window, we have got the white option. The grey, I think, has got a really nice modern look to it.
Really contemporary,
shed
isn't
roof.
it?
Or perhaps you've got grey windows, so again, that's going to work really nicely
You
with
just
your
want to
home.
modernise something with the grey. And then you've also got your black, but your black has flown in every
It has been the
configuration we've
busiest,
talked
as ever.
about. So 811037 is your item number, and your 5 square metres of coverage with the 5 litre tin.
And we've got nearly as many people ordering now as stock we've already sold. You desperately need to check your baskets through. It's always great to have ROOFIX with us, but sadly, we have to order so much stock. You really specialise with trade paints and trade, so you can only get a stock when you've got the time to make it.
Clear the floor a little bit, make some massive
us a
batches for you, and then you just sell them in a few hours.
So we don't have you every day of the week or every week of the month or every month of the year. We haven't had a show since September. So this is the time to buy, because if we don't see you for another 3 months, you're going to be cursing, aren't you? And think, oh, God, I saw that
Especially as
paint.
it's changes of season, and like we said, with
and you won't
contraction
find it in a DIY store. It's a TV exclusive with us, ROOFIX M, that will go onto. It's multi-purpose. It'll go onto any surface area, any building material. It works.
One of the most common times you'll find your leak is when there's been a temperature change. So it's been really cold and it's getting a bit warmer, or vice versa. And then you get a bit of driving rain, because the rain will just push into every crack and crevice. And sometimes the rain is so powerful that it'll just open up that gap that is sort of waiting to fail. The beauty of this is it's so strong. This one here is my favourite demonstration. Look at that flexibility.
And that's so important.
And your building materials are not going to do this, but if it does, it's not going to crack, peel off.
And that's why it lasts. That's why it's not a temporary fix, why it can last for 10 years or more. So many of the 5-star reviews, people have saved thousands.
I've got a great one here.
Pounds.
I got ROOFIX to repair my garage roof. It was leaking. I'd had estimates of £3,500 to repair the roof. I sat on the sofa. My wife made me a cup of tea. As I was drinking my tea, I was watching ROOFIX on TV. And I asked my wife, what is this? And she said, watch it and see. I was amazed at how easy this product was to administer to my garage roof. To my amazement, it was such an easy and great product quote. Remember the opening line? I saved, well, had estimates of £3,500 to repair the roof, but used ROOFIX instead.
And over the years, we've worked with Martin for many, many years, and we've had so many 5-star reviews, saving money, people saying how easy it is to apply. The best of the best, they've said. Fantastic product, super sealant, does what it says on the tin, loved by so many. You don't even need to be a DIYer, you don't need to be a painter, it's so easy to apply.
We had a message in earlier, didn't we, from Colin, I think it was, who said it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's one of the best products. He'd used it on his garage.
It's so satisfying.
Look how easy that is to flow around.
Oh, isn't it? And you can do it with a brush, but I do like it with a squeegee.
Oh, I do. I mean, I can do a roof so quickly. We once had a complaint. I think it's funny, it looks like I'm painting myself in a corner, doesn't it? Luckily, there was a window to get through.
You see. You had a complaint, what was that?
Yes, we had a complaint about 10 years ago, and we don't get many complaints. And they said, oh, it's just not working. And I thought, you know what, I've got to go look at this. And it was in Middlesbrough, I do remember.
Right.
Bearing in mind we're based in Essex, it was quite...
Bless you, so you went?
So I went. I've got to see, because... They sounded a bit desperate, let's say, and maybe a bit frail. So I went up and they were really sorry. And when I looked, basically it was an elderly couple. The guy had tried to do it himself, but he obviously didn't have very good vision. So there was massive patches just missed. So I'd taken some extra paint up and I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to paint it for you. And he said, oh, can I go get you? And he made me tea and toast.
Oh.
By the time he came up to the bottom of the ladder with the tea and toast, I'd finished.
Oh, brilliant.
Because all he did, he'd done the edges really well, but he just couldn't see what he was doing.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the edges, it's simple.
That's all right, yeah.
When you stood up and you're mopping it, he just missed massive patches. And he literally looked there and there's just spots of like unpainted. So
that's good customer service.
Absolutely.
Martin.
Well, luckily we don't get too many complaints. I can't be driving all over doing everyone.
And the great thing is, you work with people like the Ministry of Defence, London Underground. You did a massive antique building in Europe, like the biggest antique centre, and they used it on their roof. Now, they rang you and said they wanted some more, didn't they?
It was
You
about
panicked
9
and
years,
thought...
and he phoned up and he said, do you remember me? And I thought, well, of course I remember you, because it was such a stunning place.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, there's a lot of expensive things in here.
Yeah.
And he'd also tried lots of other products that didn't work. So I said, well, what's wrong then? He said, oh, I did it 9 years ago. He goes, nothing's wrong. He said, I bought a new building, so I want some more.
Wants to do it.
He's still got the original, so he's now even bigger, It's
right.
I think it was an old military base where he just kept buying like the barracks.
Brilliant.
Turning them into antiques things.
Excellent. So many of you shopping with us. It's lovely to have your company. You've got to start checking out your baskets if you don't want to miss out on some of these sizes and configurations that we've got. Remember, 1, 5 or 20 litres is where the best value.
And the more you buy, the better the save. And the details on your screen right now, it's like you get a tin completely free of charge, because you're actually saving £60. And remember, it will waterproof virtually all and everything, all building materials, even cardboard.
So we tried this earlier, didn't we? And you can see it's come
I like this, because you might have bought a black paint from a DIY store at Bitumen. And that's exactly what this is, isn't it? It's bitumen that you can buy from a DIY store.
This is 2 coats on cardboard.
Right, OK.
I don't mind saying we've put 2 coats on there as well, but this is such a thick, gloopy paint, it just doesn't look the same. And you might not get it coming through this bit.
But where the holes are.
Anywhere there is a gap, it will come through. So and the tiniest amount of water, if we put a little drop in there, a little splash.
So it's not going to seal those holes.
It doesn't seal the cracks, the crevices, the holes, the voids.
And that's the leak that's driving you mad.
We've got it,
So that is ROOFIX.
It's another cardboard
pond, a swimming pool.
It is just a cardboard box the same. It's got the same holes at the bottom, but no leaks, because that has got ROOFIX.
And there's a lot of water in there, and that water's been sat there for at least half an hour on the show.
And that box is about 15 years old.
Yeah, which is why it looks so scabby.
But it's still waterproof.
It's so stained, though. People think, oh, is that water? But you can actually see that the water looks really obvious. And If I press my
destroys, that'll
finger out,
go
it'll
now,
through.
won't it?
But I
Yeah.
like to let it dry and then I'll use it again. For the
You
next
don't
set.
like to waste.
Well, I have to keep painting cardboard boxes just to destroy them in one show. So.
So honestly, any building materials, whether it's a bay window, a conservatory, whether it's the porch, whether it's the shed, whether it's the garage, we have got the solution. You virtually slap it on. It can last 10 years or more. But what you must do is check your baskets through. Remember, we haven't had a show since September. And don't be kicking yourself when that leak comes in a couple of weeks, when the weather changes again. You think, oh, I'll get that ROOFIX from Shop on TV, and it's not available. Our stocks are getting really, really low. Check your baskets out and get the job done.
Make sure you get these great deals whilst we've got them. Now, you can follow us on all of our social media platforms, so let's just show you how easy it is.
Keep up to date with all the latest news, information and special offers from Shop on TV by following us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok and YouTube. You'll find us at Shop on TV Live. Be a part of our fun community at Shop on TV.
Check your baskets out. We are hugely, hugely busy. So Flag Paints don't just do, they do trade paint. They do a massive variety of paints. And we have another paint for you that you absolutely love. And this is our Black Magic. And it is magic because it's not magic, but it's a rust converter. So honestly, that's what this was like. Rusty, the end of its life.
Throw away. Yeah, you're done with it, aren't you?
You don't want that, do you? And without any priming paint or any other product, that's what Black Magic did.
It's a rust converter, but it's also a great gloss paint that you can see there. It's so many different surfaces that you can use it on. These exercise bikes were getting thrown away. Look at them now.
And they painted them and sold them.
Yeah, look brand new. Same with your regular bike. Give that finish, that factory finish to the frame.
We did our bikes. We'd had to leave them outside and they'd gone terrible. The finish is just incredible. And you virtually do just dab it on. I love this because it looks amazing, looks new again. Again, you could sell it, but we can still use it because it withstands real high extreme temperatures.
Heat resistance are great on things like chimneys, fire surrounds, it's brilliant on. If you wanted to match up all your plant pots in the garden, even if they're all different materials, you can.
I love this one. I mean, that you'd throw away. It looks brand new now. That could have one of those posh brown labels on in a garden centre and be hundreds of pounds now.
And even though it's really intricate, really easy to apply here, Martin will tell us how quickly he did this bench that you can see here.
So his friend just popped to the shop, the supermarket. It was about 20 minutes and the job was done. I think lots of us have got gates, railings, and we did ours, didn't we?
Yeah, the balustrade outside our house, again, it had gone all rusty. One coat, just take away any excess rust with a wire brush and then you're good to coat it on. You can see indoors and outdoors, so any indoor materials that you want to use it on, again, makes them look like brand new, doesn't it?
And that garage door there, fantastic. And you'll see as well, even if you put it onto plastic wheels, which we'll show you perhaps under a desk and things, the wheels will still work. And the difference it can make to parts of the car, perhaps the car bumper and things. But outside your house, perhaps you're trying to sell your property and it looks like you need to do loads of work. Just by painting Black Magic on, all of a sudden, the property looks so much more inviting.
It's that curb appeal
Yeah,
like we were talking about earlier, isn't it? It looks like it's looked after, so you think the property's...
And it's so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy to apply. You don't leave any brush marks behind. Now, you've got two different configurations. You've got a 1 litre tin and you've got a 2.5 litre. The 2.5 litre is the most popular and it's the best value. 974362 is the item number. It's £45, but you've got PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to spread the cost interest free.
Oh, wow.
And
I've just heard, and we had a vast amount of stock of that, and 40% of the 2.5 litre sold out and gone. It is always the one to sell out. That's why we got the most stock in. It's so versatile, and do go for that larger tin because once you've used it on one product, you'll think, oh my goodness, there's so many other places I could be using this. And have a look, you can use it on so many different materials.
You'll also be shocked by some of the materials that you can use it on. Things like bumpers on your car if they've faded. Your drain pipes and your downpipes, when they've faded, you can use it on those as well. Plastics, fiberglass, metals. And because it's got that rust converter, you can use it on rusty metals as well. If you want to match up all your odds and sods of garden furniture, so from wooden garden furniture to plastic and metal, brick and stone. Honestly, it's such a versatile paint that you'll love it.
It's easier to say what it doesn't work on.
Yes.
It doesn't work on like a shiny metal, but actually, if you sand that metal down, it will work on that metal. It's phenomenal. But take a little look, have a look in your garden. There's going to be so many different areas where you'll want to use this.
Application-wise, really simple to apply. You can see here in the garden on things like your wrought iron, and maybe it's wrought iron ornaments. It could be bird feeders like here. You can see Martin's just taken away any excess rust there from the pole, and then again you just slap it on. You don't need to be a DIYer. You don't need to be a good painter. You won't leave any brush marks behind.
You might have wanted to throw that away actually because it looks so bad, and now it actually looks like it's a factory finish. That's how you bought it. It looks brand new again. So you could sell that on or just actually keep that out in the garden. The great thing is you're not going to go out into the garden a few weeks later and that rust comes back through. It actually stops that rust. It locks that rust, so it stays looking this good and through very much all weathers. It's absolutely fantastic. You will get out in the garden and think of loads of different areas. You get all your garden furniture you could match. So perhaps you've got some wooden furniture, some plastic furniture, some wrought iron, and it's all looking a bit shabby. You could paint all of that and having matching furniture in the table, and then all things like this. It could be hanging baskets, brackets, and again you virtually just dab it on, paint it on. It's water-based. You never see a brush mark. It's always got this amazing satin finish that whatever you apply it to, it looks like new, or it looks like that's how you bought it.
It's minimal brush marks. It's water-based, easy to use. But the real time-saving thing as well, and money-saving, is it's a one-coat product. So you're priming, you're treating rust if it's there, and you're putting a top coat. And this is a good example of it being a top coat, that this is plaster of Paris, and I didn't realise it was. So I had a black and a white one outside. The white one was obviously untreated. It rained, and it just washed the whole thing away. Whereas when it's painted, it's weatherproof. So all of a sudden, the plaster of Paris can stay for years. So it is a weather-protected paint, but I love the fact that when you put it onto rusty metal, that you're... don't forget, this is one coat water-based paint.
Which is amazing.
You know, and we're going from this to that with one coat of paint.
That's great.
It's really clever technology.
And it doesn't even look like you've painted it. It just looks like it's new again.
It just looks like that's how it was,
And
that's so clever.
And we just slap it on. It's like a factory finish, which I think is nice for things like it could be speakers or shelving brackets or railings.
Didn't you even do the interior of a car, like the...
Well, we've done the dashboard. Of the car, yes. It was a Subaru, and I didn't like the silver dashboard, so I painted it with black magic. Right. And nobody ever sat in my car and went, "Why did you paint your dashboard?" Because it looked like a velvet finish. Because also I dabbed it on. So you almost get like a fabric type finish. You get little dimples in it that almost looks like it was a piece of velour or something like that. The reason that we do it in the satin is that it actually hides defects. So when you have badly pitted metal, if you put gloss on there, you'll see all of that. The gloss highlights everything. But also I think it's a lovely finish. It's classic, you know, it's carbon black, it looks like cast iron. So if we take something that was metal, wood,
brilliant.
You know,
look,
this was the cheapest curtain pole I could find.
And they might be what you've got at the minute and you hate them now, but just the thought of changing the curtain rail and the pole is thinking, oh, I can't be bothered.
And the cost as well.
Years ago, I remember standing there and they were like 40, 50 pounds for these packs. This was £6. But then
look at the difference.
Look at the difference.
It looks really contemporary with the black magic.
It looks like it's a metal now, doesn't it? And even though we're going to put it onto the pole as well, when we draw the curtains, it's not going to ruin, is it?
No. And even if you've got something old where it's been varnished, that's not easy to paint. That to me just now looks like a piece of cast iron.
So you could paint a whole chair if you wanted to.
Yes, we've painted chairs inside and out.
Yeah.
You know, and they start to look like a cast iron chair, which is great. And you can have the cheapest plastic white chair, that
And it
doesn't
looks-
match everything else. And then, as you say, one coat of the black magic, and suddenly your metal chair, your plastic chair, they
They all
start to
So
look
yeah,
like a
so if
set.
you've got a mishmash of chairs in the garden, paint them all with the black magic, and they'll all look like they match
Yeah.
beautifully. And your pots in your garden.
Even glass. You know, you might have a glass ornament, a vase or something. We've even had people paint windows because they didn't want, they had too much sunlight coming
Oh,
through
gosh.
in their shed, the workshop. So they painted the window, they just blacked out, made a pattern, you know, with some black and some opaque.
Absolutely incredible, isn't it? And it looks so good. And Sean's got a load of different products here, but you've even put it onto like a decking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the beauty with the decking is that you still get that anti-slip ridges that are in there. So anything that you're painting that's quite ornate, like this, for example, it'd be too easy to start filling in all the decoration there. You know, if you've got an ornate piece of furniture, you want it to look like that. You want
Yeah.
all of the cuts and the decorative bits.
And it never sort of blobs, it never fills in the holes. It looks again, you would have thought that's how you bought it.
Yeah, straight from the shop, yeah.
Manufactured finish, you can't see any brush marks. And even the back, you've painted the back as well.
Yeah.
So you could upcycle, you could resell things.
Yeah, and once you've used this, you will think, right, what can I paint next?
what-
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
will.
You'll paint
That's
the
why,
pergola, you'll paint
yeah.
But we've got people painting sheds and brackets and railings,
Yeah.
shelves, and it's indoors and outdoors. It's quick drying, it's water-based, it's virtually odourless. But then if you have a rusty piece of metal, you put it on and it's doing all of that
So
stuff. You
clever.
don't have to use acids, you don't have to use specialist
And if it is
primers.
like, you can get some of the fire burning things that you put...
The fire pits.
Yeah, the pits. Could we paint a fire pit?
The outside of the fire pit, yeah, and chimneys we've painted. I've painted lots of fire surrounds because the
Yes.
heat resistance is up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit.
Brilliant. And then we're outside now doing guttering with
Drain pipes
exactly
and down pipes.
the same
yeah.
product.
And the plastic's all faded. We were talking
look
about
at
this
that,
earlier.
Yeah.
how white and
Goes-
chalky it goes.
Chalky is exactly
Yes.
how it goes. It looks nasty. So again, if you're trying to sell your property, all of a sudden, it looks like you've cared for your property. It doesn't look like you need loads of work doing. It looks like all the work's been
Looks
done.
like they're new, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The finish on it's brilliant. It's,
My previous business partner, once we'd formulated this, he went and painted all the plastic on the outside of his house.
right.
And then I know that was 12 years ago, and it looks amazing, I've
Still
got to
looks
say.
great.
Yeah.
So it weathers really well.
Yes. Yeah.
But of course you can use it indoors and out as well. And to apply it, and we'll apply it just quickly because it's really easy to apply. You're better off not being sort of a painter because you don't need to take loads of time on this.
Dabbing
Look at
there.
that. Very professionally
Look at the
done.
skill of this man.
Still there. This is why he comes in.
But this is water-based, virtually odourless. It'd be too easy to take one little bushful and take it a long way, but we don't do that. We keep dabbing in, and even doing that, 1 litre will do, let me think, it will do 8 to 12 square metres.
Yeah,
We got that right?
yeah, that's right.
That's a good memory, isn't
And
it?
2.5 litres is 20 to 30.
Goes a long
square
way
metres.
because, and it's the fact that you're doing it all with one coat of paint. If you think
Yeah.
about it, normally you'd have to put a primer, an undercoat and a top coat. This is really clever technology. So it's one thin coat of water-based paint. If there's rust, what happens is there's an additive in there, converts the rust into a polymer. The polymer gets locked into the resin of the paint. You don't have to think about it, you don't have to understand it. Just know that you're putting on water-based black paint and you're treating rusty metal.
Yeah.
But then
So
also you
that
can put
rust
it
isn't gonna
onto
come back.
plastic, and look what you can do to the plastic. The
It's really
adhesion is
flexible.
phenomenal.
It
It-
doesn't
it
peel
is.
or
No.
flake away.
Which
Absolutely
normally a
brilliant.
paint would. Super busy, and whatever you're looking at and thinking, oh gosh, you know, it's beyond repair. You're thinking, I'm going to take this down the tip, like my lovely chair, this love chair. I mean, it's
not your chair.
gorgeous, but you're not going to sit on that. You're going to get a brown bottom, aren't you? Because it's all nasty and rusty. So it's beyond repair.
Now, weren't
really.
you round at the friend's
So
house?
my friend's house, she said, I'm going to get some things for a picnic. Off she went to the supermarket, and I thought, I know what I'm going to do with that. I had a wire brush in the car, I
Right.
wire brushed it just once, really quickly, wiped away the dust, and I slapped
Brilliant.
on one coat of paint. and she thought I'd swapped it. She couldn't believe it was the same.
Well, you
chair.
can't believe it's the same chair. That could be in a garden centre now with a really posh little brown tag on with hundreds of pounds.
The funniest thing then is in the afternoon she said, "Can you paint my chimney for me?" Every time I tried to paint it, it rained.
Funny. You'll have to go back for another picnic.
Yeah.
You can come to our house for a picnic. That shows you as well. It's so ornate. Yet still, it looks like that's how you bought it. It doesn't look like you've repainted it. There's nothing worse than that. No brush marks, always that perfect satin finish.
We often avoid painting because it gets quite ornate and we don't want drips and runs.
You ruin it, don't you?
And things like this, they're difficult because they're so patterned. The beauty of this product is that it's one thin coat of black paint, really clever technology, great adhesion. It's acrylic based, it's really strong, it's weatherproof, indoors or outdoors. I mean, we've got examples where you've got door locks and handles and things like that.
So many things.
They get used so many times during the day, but this is such a durable paint.
Yeah.
You don't
I mean,
have
the
to
number
worry
of
about
times people get this glass and they try and
scrape it
you know,
off.
they want to see it come off because it's a piece of glass.
Now we're going to have to move away. We're so busy on this, but we've got to get back to ROOFIX because you are loving that, and we are sadly coming towards the end of our show. Check everything out on the website, shopontv.co.uk. On the website, you can find absolutely everything. And of course, we have got as well our energy drinks, which are brand new with us, which you're loving.
It's fabulous value here. You get 24 cans of the Rich energy drink for $24.99. The value is brilliant when you think about what you pay there for energy drinks. That pure mountain spring water, the finest ingredients, tastes great, doesn't leave any aftertaste behind like some of the drinks do. A real premium brand, and to get 24 cans for $24.99.
Looks premium, doesn't it? It
does.
looks really nice. It's really nicely packaged. So perhaps if you're having a bit of a party or something, you fancy that, it's a great deal. So grab that whilst we have got the stock there, and of course brand new. So really nice to have that with us here on Shop on TV. Whatever you pop into your basket, if you spend over £30, you can use PayPal Pay in 3. So if you're putting that in with your ROOFIX and you're spending over 30, you can do exactly that. But back to our ROOFIX. What is this? This honestly is a product like no other. This will do what it says on the tin. It fixes your roof. So if you've got any leaks, it might be a bay window, it might be a conservatory, it might be a shed, it might be a porch, it might be a lean-to. Instantly, that leak, whatever building material this is on, all you do is you slap on our ROOFIX, and whether you use a brush or whether you use a squeegee, as simple as that. It's not a paint. You won't find this at a DIY store. It's acrylic resin. And what it's also got is Draylon fibres that weave together instantly. So we actually, the time of what you've watched just there was the time of it being filmed. Yeah. So it didn't have time to dry that ROOFIX. Even if the heaven opens as soon as you've applied it, it's done its job. That leak has gone, and it lasts 10 years or more.
Instantly fixed and lasts for years and years. This is ROOFIX M, remember, that we're bringing you. If you're thinking about surfaces, it's multi-surface. So if you are searching, you've got to look for ROOFIX M. That's very important. Surface-wise, well, take a look at some of the surfaces that you can use it on. Not just roofs, you can use it on all your different types of guttering as well. So wood, OSB, galvanised steel, asbestos, fiberglass, composite plastics, metals, acrylics, polycarbonates. You can see you can use it on non-glazed tiles there, and then the different types of guttering. I couldn't believe you can use it on concrete even.
Absolutely anything. We've waterproofed cardboard in the show, which is bizarre. I know that's not a sort of a
building material.
No, but cardboard's horrendous when it's wet. Now remember, Flag Paints, they specialise in trade paint, so you can get a trade ROOFIX, but ROOFIX M has been designed for us on Shop on TV, for us at home. Really easy to apply. You virtually just slap it on and the job is done, making that job so easy and so quick. And of course the M, multi-purpose, so it will work on all those building materials. But you do need to check your baskets out, whichever option you're going for, especially the black option, because we do have a black, a white or a grey. I'm really busy on that black, and we haven't had a show of this since September, so please grab it whilst we've actually got the stock available, because they're approved by the Ministry of Defence, the London Underground, so they're busy with trade the majority of the time. When they have time, they'll do us a bulk lot of stock, but of course then you can actually get such a good deal, but we don't have it every day of the week. But take a look how easy it is to apply. And again, whatever situation, because this isn't a roof, this is actually guttering. And it's brilliant on guttering.
And it's this simple. You just take away any of that excess debris that you can see there, and then you just slap it on. It fills or bridges the gap, if you like, and it solves the problem. It does what it says on the tin.
Straight away.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait for it to dry. It's already solved that problem for you, and you're good to go. But it's not a bitumen. It has Draylon fibres in there that knit together, and that's the point of difference.
And it's not available in a DIY store. They do bitumen is what you can buy from the DIY store, and that's, though it's got waterproofing properties, it's not, bitumen isn't going to seal the leak like ROOFIX does.
It's just not the same product. We're not comparing apples for apples.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. ROOFIX is thermoacrylic resin. It's not tar or bitumen based. A few things on that. One is we can do different colours. So you get it in white, grey and black, which has an aesthetic pleasing thing. You know, you might just want to have a different colour roof for whatever reason. But also if you're doing guttering or PVC, outhouse, lean-to, etc., you can match the colour to the surface, blend it in. They can't even see it's been painted, which is really nice. But also you get the same performance here, you get the same flexibility. So built into this is Draylon fibre reinforcement. So it's these tiny little bits of Draylon. They don't look like much, they almost look like fluff here, but they're really specific in size and strength.
And that's what's really important, isn't it? The size, the thickness, the strength of them. People have tried to remake this.
Some people try and put this into bitumen. It doesn't work because the bitumen doesn't have the structure, the strength to hold this. You would open it up and there'd just be this much fibre at the bottom and the bitumen at the top. The thing with our product is it's what's called an amorphous resin. It's almost like a jelly. It's very structured. But then the beauty is when you pour it out, it's easier than putting butter onto toast. It just spreads itself around.
So easy to
and the
apply,
flexibility, I love this as a demonstration that we get to see the Draylon fibre reinforcement. So we can see it on the front there and in the middle. There we go.
You can really,
catches it, almost like a little textured finish.
And where it's all weaved
together. This around, on the back, you see, it's all smooth. We can't see the fibres. So the beauty of this, because of the way it's formulated, the fibres will sit where they need to be, which is in the centre and the front of the coating. And then the resin is all throughout the coating, but also on the surface, because it's the resin that's going to give you the best adhesion. But then what we've got is something that all we've done is open a tin of paint, pour it out, spread it around, 1 litre, 1 square metre, and then imagine this for the flexibility.
And that is really important because our buildings, our building materials, they expand and contract with the weather, with the hot weather, with the cold weather. And that's how you get that leak or that crack down the side of the house. And so it needs to do this for us to say it works for 10 years or more.
But the other thing with this, it's not just flexible for a year. It's designed to last for 10 years, possibly more. But it's also reactive with the temperature. So hot and cold, it will change its properties. Even when this is 8 years old, when it gets warm and everything stretches, this will still stretch with it.
And it will do that on whatever building material it's on, because they all react differently.
Exactly.
I mean, it is incredible. Can we see it? Because I think once you see it with your eyes, you'll think, oh no, I haven't seen anything like this before. Because the Draylon fibres, you actually see, it's got such a different texture to it, hasn't it?
I like just pouring it out. I mean, to me, it's like a fabric or a liquid curtain. There we go.
Look at that.
It's not like a regular paint.
No,
you
not
can
at
see,
all.
You can actually see those fibres as you pour it out. You can see how they would knit together. And when you are actually applying it, Martin, it's really simple, isn't it?
want to.
I love it.
She's
No,
got the
it's
jam.
so satisfying because you virtually do. It's like it's got self-leveling properties and it levels itself. How easy is
See how
that?
it's just dragging the fibres. The only guideline is 1 litre goes on 1 square metre. And even if you accidentally pushed it all in the wrong way, if you went
you could push
like
it back
that, you see,
and start again.
It doesn't matter because it flows so well, you just drag it back. And the way it drags the fibres and knits them perfectly into the place you want them to be, we're not getting gaps there where it's missing fibre.
No.
Yeah.
It's really well dispersed throughout the coating. But also, it's not tar and bitumen. It's a really strong resin, but also it's a clever resin. It reacts with hot and cold temperatures. It's called thermoacrylic.
Right.
So acrylics are strong. A good example is acrylic nails. You know, everyone knows they're really tough.
Yeah.
But what we need here is the acrylic, but with all the soft and flexible natures when the weather needs it.
It is those secret ingredients that's going to stop that leak instantly. So as soon as you've applied this, if there is a leak, and it could be your shed, it could be a garage, it could be a bay window, it could be a conservatory. That's why we've got the different colours, the white, the grey and the black. But as soon as you've applied it, instantly that leak has gone. So you can see here, leak, that could be destroying the new bikes, perhaps it's your brand new lawnmower in the shed, perhaps it's paperwork in the roof of the house.
Yeah, stuff you store in the roof of the house, but you can see here how it bridges that gap. I love that description. It fills that gap and it stops the leak in its tracks.
You virtually slap it on and the job is done.
Good to go. And it's not a short-term temporary fix. It can last for 10 years and beyond. It's brilliant value on this deal. It's like you're getting one of the tins free of charge.
Yeah.
All your different roof surfaces when we're talking about different materials, remember, but it's great on porches, on gutters, on PVC. When it comes to guttering, this was quite a big gap in this guttering, wasn't it? Just clear away the excess and then slap it on.
It can be damp, you don't have to dry it down, but just get rid of any leaves and any debris and then slap it on, just like you saw there. And then again, instantly, we put the water in and that big gap completely gone. And actually, Martin, you've got a bit of a gash here in this guttering.
So big cut in there.
Yeah.
And basically one bush full of ROOFIX just completely solved it. Now, when you think on your guttering, you might have a joint where it's leaking.
Yes.
Well, often it's because the seal's gone on the joint. So rather than having to take all the guttering off, you just go to the joints and paint a little bit, and that can completely revive your guttering and be good for another 10 years.
At this one, this was actually cut in half completely, and you've actually...
The only thing holding it together is the paint on the inside.
And that's going to be waterproof. So that could be sort of the area where it's connecting, that's where the seal has gone. You virtually paint it on, job done.
But also it's so strong that and flexible. It
So
doesn't
strong,
matter how much it moves.
You do, you pick it, I think I better be careful. And you don't need to be careful at all.
The only thing
so
holding
strong.
it together is the paint on inside it.
Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So if you've got guttering that's leaking, it's dripping all down the house. If you've got a shed that's leaking, a garage that's leaking, the best option, the more you buy, the better the saving.
Yeah, you've got 1 litre, you've got 5 litre, you've got the 4 5-litre tins that you see there on the screen. You'll find them all on the website. shopontv.co.uk is the easiest way to see everything, and everything is still available at the moment in the 3 colours, whether you want the black, the white or the grey option. It's all there for you, but that's the best value.
Yeah, it's like you're getting a tin completely free of charge. And remember, ROOFIX M. This is a trade paint, but ROOFIX M is a TV exclusive with us, and it's been designed for ease of use as well. We can use it on any building material, and you do virtually just paint it on.
The instructions are really simple. We've given the instructions so that a non-painter, a non-professional, somebody who knows nothing about roofing repair reads that, follow the instructions. There's not many sentences, but it's really clear, simple to do.
And you've seen it, just slap it on, squeegee or paint brush it on, job done.
It's a great product to have in your DIY store just in case, especially as the seasons change.
And the weather changes so much, and it is the weather that creates all of those leaks and problems, and you've got the problem solver, not temporary, for 10 years or more.
Just choose which colour and which configuration you want. The black, the grey or the white, still available on the show. Remember, if you spend over £30, you've got PayPal, Pay in 3. Got to thank everyone if you've emailed in. Thank you so much. It's lovely to hear from you. And thank you to you, Mark.
Yes, thank
lovely
you.
to see you.
You do all the hard work. I just turn up and...
No.
It's always great to have you with us. And remember, this is used by trade, and it's approved by the Ministry of Defence, the London Underground, and used in the biggest European actual
Antique
centre on their roof. And can you imagine the cost of the products underneath that makes it waterproof? Check your baskets out. See you later.